Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Jackie Robinson Field here in Pasadena, California for Arroyo Seco Saints baseball on your Saints Broadcast Network. Well, I'm Max Langer alongside my broadcast partner Riley Horn, and Riley Saints have won two straight. The first of those wins coming on a walk-off throw from Carson Panarisi here on Tuesday, and the second win, one of the more impressive games of the year for the Saints, taking down Orange County on the road on Wednesday. They'll look to make it 3 in a row tonight against the first-place Forresters team, and the Saints are going to have their work cut out for them.
Yeah, and it's a very impressive Saints team coming off these past two games. Really exciting one here on Tuesday a couple nights ago. And on Wednesday night, like you mentioned, very impressive win over the Riptide. But yeah, they do have their work cut out for them. The offense for the Saints is starting to click, but that offense for the Forresters has already done that. A team that's slashing .303 with 101 runs in 11 games.
Yeah, averaging more than 9 runs a game. Here's the lineup. That starting pitcher for the Saints, Zach Bender, is going to be facing Marcus Grease. The shortstop will lead it off. He's the double play combo with Sawyer Farr hitting second at second base. Carter Rutenberg got the day off for Santa Barbara yesterday, hits third. Caleb Hoover, the DH in the cleanup spot. Kurt Ippolito, the only guy in the top 5 that the Saints saw when they played this team 8 days ago, is in right field. Makani Nabarro, another guy the Saints saw, is hitting 6th, and in left field, Nick Salmon is at 3rd. Zane Becker does the catching, and Christian Turner, the center fielder, rounds out the lineup for the Forresters. Again, these two teams played each other 9 days ago, and the Saints really stuck with them, which you can't say for a lot of the other teams that the Forresters have played. The Saints have really only gotten blasted last Saturday when Orange County beat them 16-2, but every other game they've hung in there. Last Wednesday, these two teams, Saints came back from a 4-0 deficit, but Santa Barbara got 2 in the 7th and won 6-4. Again, that was last Wednesday, 9 days ago. Saints looking for round 2 here. These teams will play again tomorrow. Saints are going to be on the road in Santa Barbara. So Marcus Grease stepping up to the plate for Santa Barbara. Zach Bender on the mound for the Saints. And off we go with a first pitch fastball low and away for ball 1.
So far on the season, Bender with 2 other appearances, both of which being starts. He got the opening night start back on June 5th, went 2 innings, giving up 2 earned runs. And then a week ago tonight, had a start against the Academy Barons, also went 2 innings, giving up 2 earned runs. And tonight, he's going to have to face a really strong Forresters lineup.
Yeah, Bender's been a guy 4 innings all the year. He's got 2 both times he's been out there, but has always been used in that starting role. Misses away here, and it's 3-0. Forresters are coming off of a real scary one yesterday. They were down 4-2 in the 9th inning to the Waves. As Grease takes a strike on the outside corner, 3-1. And in the 9th inning, they put up 3 runs. Brady Janusek had a bases-clearing double with 2 outs and the bases loaded to get the Forresters their win. It was their 10th win of the year, making them 10-1. Bouncer back up the middle over the glove of Bender. Robinette throwing on the run. Got him. Nice play by Bryce Robinette, coming in on a slow ground ball that was deflected off of the glove of Zach Bender. He gets Marcus Grease with the throw, and we're underway here from Pasadena.
Yeah, as a second baseman, that's probably the #1 hardest play to make, is that one going so far to your right. Because the more you go to your right as a second baseman, the farther away from first base you get. So having to make that throw back across your body and all your momentum is really difficult. Robinette made it look pretty there, though.
1 out and nobody on for Sawyer Farr. Take a look at the Saints defensively. Left to right in the outfield, Carson Panarisi, who's back in left field for the first time since his game-winning throw a couple of days ago. Blake Mitchell is in center field with Cannon King in right. Swing and a miss at the fastball, 1-1. Left to right across the infield, it's Jacob Freer at 3rd. Braden Flores, after playing 3rd base in 5 of the last 6 he's appeared in, is back at shortstop. Bryce Robinette at 2nd base, and Zach Light in his 2nd game as a Saint is at 1st, with Camden Andrews doing the catching for Bender. 1-1, fly towards left center field. Panarisi on the run, back towards the gap. He's not going to get there. It'll one-hop off the wall, and cruising into 2nd base with a 1-out double is Sawyer Farr.
Playing a little bit down the line was Panarisi out there in left, not expecting Farr really to go towards that left center gap. That ball pretty well struck out there. Had a lot of hang time up in the air, but just beat both Panarisi and Mitchell, who had long ways to run after their defensive arrangement.
Well, Forrest scored the winning run on the Janusek walk-off double yesterday, and he doubles in his first at-bat here today. So a runner in scoring position with one out for Carter Rutenbar. Bender comes home, and Rutenbar leaves it downstairs, and Bender has fallen behind all three hitters he's faced so far.
Yeah, and he's really favoring that fastball, and it's a good pitch of his just as long as he can get it in that zone consistently enough to then use his other pitches out of the zone to throw off the eye lines and the timing of the hitters.
Rutenbar, an Arkansas guy, taps it foul, and it's 1-1. Got the day off yesterday, and a couple of these guys on the Forresters team come from Arkansas. They didn't come over to play for Santa Barbara until about a week and a half into the year, so the Forresters getting them into the lineup more recently over the last week. That one goes to the backstop far easily into third as Camden Andrews goes to retrieve it. And after the double, Zach Bender throws a wild pitch that was not even close. And now the Forresters have a runner at third with less than 2 outs.
Rutenbar, so far this summer, hitting .267, just 1 RBI, looking to make it 2 and take the early lead for the Forresters. We've seen the Saints give up some early leads so far in a lot of these games this season, but they've been able to hang in there offensively and lock in on the pitching side in the backstretch.
2-1, grounded foul down the first base line. Earlier in the year, it typically had been, as you mentioned, Riley, the first inning that had really plagued these Saints, but talk about over the last week or so, it has been the 9th inning. They blow the 5-run lead to Academy a week ago today, and then 3 days ago, despite getting the win, got very dicey against the Philippines baseball group, up 13-9 in the 9th inning. It took a walk-off throw from Carson Panarisi to save the game for the Saints. 2-2, Rutenbar leaves it outside, and the count goes full. Caleb Hoover is on deck for the Forresters. Here's a payoff. Rutenbar digs it out, sends it down the right field line. On the run is King. He won't get there, and it's a foul ball. Pitch was low and inside, but Rutenbar went after it anyway and hooked it down the right field line. A little bit of a cooler day here in Pasadena, 71 degrees, the temperature in the top of the first. Seventh pitch from Bender. Swing and a foul tip that Cam Andrews cannot hang on to. Saints in a little bit of trouble here in the first against a Forresters team that has pounced on pretty much everybody they've played this year. Their only loss of the season coming in Compton against the Barons a couple of weeks ago. Pop foul, and we'll do it again. Pretty decent crowd here on a Friday night. The word on the streets is that there is a Yankees scout in the stands to see the starting pitcher for the Forresters, Calvin Prowski. Ninth pitch from Bender. Missed ball 4. So now first and third with 1 out for Caleb Hoover.
And as that at-bat was so stretched out by Rutenbar, running out of options up on the mound was Bender. Couldn't find that put-away pitch. That one, arguably the best pitch of the at-bat, just couldn't get the call from the home plate umpire. But when you get that deep into an at-bat and the guy's fouling off pitch after pitch after pitch, as a pitcher, you start to lose your mentality. But Bender stayed super composed, found a really good pitch, just didn't pan out quite enough for him.
Bender has now fallen behind all 4 hitters he's faced as he leaves ball 1 in the dirt to Hoover. Bender's 5-pitch guy, sinker, cutter, split, slider, and the 4-seam fastball, though he only throws the traditional 4-seam 2% of the time. The sinker is his primary hard stuff, so to speak, and that is what he's missed with a lot today. Now 2-0 on Caleb Hoover. Hoover 7 hits and 14 at-bats. Another guy in this Santa Barbara lineup with an on-base percentage over 500. His is all the way up at 611. Golden opportunity here in the first. 2-0, squibbed foul into the Saints dugout. Hoover from Heath, Texas. He's one of 5 guys in this Forresters lineup that call the great state of Texas their home state. This one's lined into left center field, a base hit. In to score is Farr. Stopping at second base is Rutenbar on the RBI single by Caleb Hoover, and the Forresters strike first. It's 1-0.
When a guy gets a one-out double and then advances up to third with 1 out, the guys behind him just have one job to do this early on in the game, and that's to score that run. And Hoover does a great job there and does so while upping his own personal offensive numbers, getting an RBI, getting a base hit as well.
First pitch to Kurt Ippolito, who squares to bunt, pulls it back, and takes ball 1. Bender last pitched a week ago against Academy. Comes into this game with 4 innings pitched this year. He's given up 6 runs. You can make it 7 with the first inning run that the Forresters have scored. But Santa Barbara looking for more. They've got him at first and second with 1 out for Ippolito, who grounds one to third off the glove of Jacob Freered into left field. Rutenbar will score easily. Stopping at second base is Caleb Hoover. It's going to be an RBI single or an error or something. The Forresters don't care. He's going to reach first base safely, and it's now 2-0 Santa Barbara.
Yeah, and I guess that one's going to be an RBI single, and that's our official scoring. Tough play for Freer over there, having to go to a sliding backhand. Couldn't quite come up with it. Tough hop as well. And again, Ippolito doing a great job getting those runners in scoring position in. So far, Forresters taking advantage of their opportunities.
Ball 1 on Nakani Navarro. So after Zach Bender got Marcus Grease to ground out to second to begin the game, the next 4 Santa Barbara hitters have all reached safely, and it's 2-0. 1-0 Navarro. Sky to right. King coming in. Second baseman Robinette going out. He'll make the catch. No infield fly. That ball was into right field. And a big out for Zach Bender. 2 gone in the first.
Yeah, big, unproductive out there. Can't get a runner 90 feet away. Although if you are going to have a productive out, so to say, you'd rather have it with none rather than 1, because then it makes it 2 and it takes away some opportunities for the Forresters to score. But they still have plenty of opportunities, and they've been cashing in on those with RBI base hits so far in this one.
Going to have a trainer come out here and check on Camden Andrews. Bryce Robinette has made 2 putouts at second base this inning, but every other hitter the Forresters have brought to the plate has reached safely. 3 hits and a walk allowed by Zach Bender in this first inning. And Andrews is okay. Nick Salmon will step into the left-hand batter's box. 11 home runs for Golden West College last year. He's playing in his 9th CCL game so far. He has essentially split the reps at the hot corner with Landon Schaefer, who's off tonight. Schaefer, of course, stands out because he was drafted by the Phillies last year, 20th round, but chose to go to Arkansas instead. But on the bench tonight as Salmon gets the start. Strike 1, swing and a miss. Salmon, Newport Coast guy. Forresters already with 2 in the bank here in the first. Looking to really put up a crooked number on Zach Bender, and we've got a timeout. A little bit of a chilly breeze here, but always a nice break from the brutal sun that Pasadena inflicts upon its residents sometimes. Swing and a miss, and it's 0-2.
And on the mound, Bender getting ahead of Salmon, now has him way ahead. He's got Salmon in the palm of his hand. He's just got to capitalize here, get that third out, get the Saints back in the dugout.
Again, only 2 innings apiece in his first 2 starts, so not likely that Zach Bender will go that deep into this game. Andrews held the glove and didn't get the call, and it's 1-2.
Great pitch there by Bender. Just missing a little bit off the inside, but 0-2. Try and go bust him in on the hands of Salmon, the left-handed batter, and again, couldn't quite get the call. He's locating pitches pretty well with 2 strikes. Just got to get them a little bit more in favor of the home plate umpire.
Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Zach Bender gets Nick Salmon swinging to end the inning, but not before the damage has been done. Caleb Hoover and Kurt Ippolito both with RBI singles in the first, and the Forresters lead it 2-0 as we head to the home half of the inning.
Today we're going to the Rose Bowl in Pasadena to see if anybody's coming to the Saints game tonight.
You guys like baseball? Well, we have a game over there. They're Royal Seco Saints for Pasadena. It's at Jackie Robinson Memorial Field. Come and watch it at 6 p.m.
Thank you. Baseball, yeah, sure. Yeah? A baseball game, Arroyo Seco.
Yeah!
Where's that?
Jackie Robinson Field.
Oh, I know that.
So you like baseball?
Nah, not really. I'm just bringing it.
fair
I'm
enough.
honest with you.
You guys are big.
A baseball game?
Yeah, we got a baseball game happening at the Jackie Robinson Field at 4:30.
Yeah, we'll come out for sure.
For sure, okay.
We'll be there. We'll be there.
Yeah,
We'll
go Saints, go
we want to know where
Saints.
you.
Two 2-0 Forresters as we head to the bottom of the first inning for the Saints. It'll be Braden Flores, Carson Panarisi, and Jacob Freer coming up in the bottom half of the inning to face Calvin Prosky on the mound for Santa Barbara. Plays at UCSB, and last year terrific, a 2.87 ERA over 31 1/3 innings. Struck out 23 guys and will look to keep it a 2-run lead for Santa Barbara as we head to the bottom of the first.
Yeah, and arrived to the summer season with the Forresters a little bit late as the Gauchos had a bit of a postseason run, but he got his first and only start of this season back a week ago tonight against the Conejo Oaks. Forresters would win that one 19-2, and Broski with 5 innings got the win. 7 hits allowed and just 2 earned runs, good for a 3.6 ERA so far.
First pitch to Braden Flores is on the outside corner for a strike. Flores with that 3-run double Wednesday is now tied for second in the CCL in runs driven in with 14. Swings at the second pitch and fouls it back to the screen. It's 0-2. He'll bat first. Carson Panarisi in left field hitting second. Jacob Freer at third base hitting third. Zach Light in his second game as the Saint cleans it up at first. Owen Mangini back in the lineup is DHing and hitting fifth. This one's grounded towards first. Easy play for Rutenbar. He'll take it to the bag himself. And Flores is out number 1. Cannon King in the 6 hole is back in right field. Hasn't played as much recently, but started the season so hot. Camden Andrews, after Nick Nishiwa caught on Wednesday, is back there behind the plate with Bryce Robinette at second base and Blake Mitchell, who has now essentially split the time in center field with Donnie Morgan. Mitchell starting there tonight and batting 9th. Take a look at the Forresters' defense. Left to right in the outfield, Navarro, Turner, and Ippolito. Salmon and Grease on the left side of the infield as Prosky's curveball misses. Farr and Rutenbar on the right side, with Zane Becker doing the catching for Prosky. Grounded to shortstop. Grease up with it, throw to first, got him. And quickly 2 outs here in the bottom half of the first.
And already into a groove is Prosky, going 2 up, 2 down so far. We mentioned this last half inning, but rumor has it that there's some scouts here in the stands to get a look at Proski, potentially bring them into his program. And he's a guy that I've heard from some other Forresters pitchers, a guy that doesn't necessarily have insane velocity, only in the low to mid 90s, but he's got a 5-pitch mix that is absolutely disgusting in the eyes of hitters.
So 2 out and nobody on for Jacob Freer, who takes the breaking ball for strike 1. Proski's a 4-pitch guy, 4-seam slider, curveball, and changeup. Freer had that RBI triple to get the Saints on the board Wednesday in Irvine. They would win that game by a final of 8-3. Now 1-on-1 on the Saints' third baseman. Despite being down 2-0, the Saints have proven many times this year that they can come back from early deficits. But this Forresters team is not your typical run-of-the-mill CCL team. They have stars at every position, guys from all over the SEC Power 4 schools, and the Saints already in an early hole. Zach Benzer gives up 2 earned runs in the top of the first. Carve foul, it's 1-2. Saints looking to win a 3rd straight game for the first time this year, Riley, after they took 2. Both of their wins have come back-to-back. And just kind of been a string of losses that games they were close to winning couldn't come back and finish it off. Pop straight back. Going after it is Becker, and he's out of room as it bounces about 5 feet in front of us and back to the screen.
Yeah, you mentioned the strength of the Forresters, a team that normally doesn't really participate in the CCL playoffs at all, as they ship themselves out into the Midwest, I do believe, and play some playoff tournaments out there. They travel around. They recruit from all over the country at schools all over the nation, and it's consistently a really strong summer program here on the West Coast.
Bouncer right side and foul. Saints have done a really good job this year at not striking out. They have consistently put the ball in play, and it's helped their offense. 10 games, they've scored 75 runs, so not quite the 9.1, 9.2 that the Forresters have been averaging, but 7.5 runs a game. You'll take that every day of the week and twice on Sundays. Or I should say twice on Fridays, since today is a Friday.
Today is a Friday. Saints' next time out, though, will be, I believe, Sunday, or do they play tomorrow?
They do play tomorrow against Santa Barbara. Sky to left field. Navarro back on it with the call and the catch. A 1-2-3 first inning for Calvin Proski. Gets Flores, Panarisi, and Freer down in order to the 2nd inning. We're through 1 here in Pasadena. 2-0 Forresters. Top of the 2nd, 8-9-1 coming up for the Forresters as they lead the Saints 2-0. Zach Bender out for his 2nd inning of work, looking to bounce back from a multi-run first that the Forresters got off him. Zane Becker, Christian Turner, and Marcus Grease back to the top of the lineup for the Forresters.
And we have mentioned many times SEC guys. Becker leading things off, a Texas A&M guy, batting .238 with a home run and 5 knocked in this summer.
9th CCL game Becker is playing in tonight. Again, the Forresters carry 3 catchers on their roster. They got to get them all in there, but Becker has gotten the lion's share of the opportunities. He's one of the only guys in the lineup that actually strikes out a good chunk, sacrifices the bat-to-ball ability for some power, but he's got 8 extra base hits on the year to lead Santa Barbara. Breaking ball for strike 2. And Bender, after missing with the sinker fastball so much in the first inning, has relied more on his breaking ball since to get the ball over the heart of the plate. A ball and 2 strikes on the 8-hole hitter Zane Becker, who thought about it and stopped his swing, 2-2.
And you mentioned the power numbers of Becker. He's a guy that you'd like to not necessarily have leading off in this spot. He's got 5 RBIs on the season, but has yet to have one since June 7th.
Swing and a miss. Andrews will... No, won't even throw down to first. Home plate umpire doesn't bother. Becker goes back to the dugout, takes with him the first out of the second as Bender gets him swinging.
Yeah, strikeout number 2 on the start for Bender, and they're coming in back-to-back fashion. Got Nick Salmon down swinging to end the first inning. Now gets Becker down swinging to start the second inning. And not to jinx anything here, knock on wood, but it seems like Bender's starting to find that groove a little bit after just 4 outs.
Well, you'd hope so against a Forresters team, both pitching and the lineup. Christian Turner shakes his head in disgust at ball 1 as Bender misses away. Turner's another Arkansas guy, arrived to the Forresters rather recently. He's only gotten 2 hits in his first 4 games, but he's been walked 6 times, so the OBP way up there, as it is for almost every single player in this Forresters lineup. Squares to bunt and fouls it off. It's 1-1.
And guys, center fielder is Turner. Good wheels on him. Guy that's trying to steal a free base hit, laying down a bunt, trying to leg out a single and get on base here in the second inning.
Turner from Houghton, Louisiana. The Forresters are a team that pulls a lot of their guys from those southern states. Low ball 2. Seems to me that Bender has gone very low on a lot of his pitches, has not used the upper part of the strike zone a lot. But he's retired the last 3 hitters after 5 of the first 6 reached. Check swing, but ball 3, and now 3-1 on Turner. Marcus Grease, who grounded out to second to begin the game, is on deck. Right down Main Street, strike 2. Saints with a little mini shift. Braden Flores has shifted more to the right of the second base bag than to third base. Here's a payoff, and that one is inside ball 4. So after retiring the last 3, Zach Bender issues a 1-out walk to Tristan Turner to turn the lineup over.
Second walk issued by Bender, and almost identical to the first one he issued in Carter Rutenbar, where he tried to go to that low inside fastball, but just a little too down below the knees or a little too far inside, one or the other, that didn't get the call. But again, another full count that he executed a really strong pitch and just didn't pan out for him.
So 1 out and 1 on for Marcus Grease, who bounced to second his first at-bat. Turner runs. Andrews has to dive for the ball and won't even try a throw down. So after being walked, Christian Turner takes off on the first pitch and has a stolen base.
Yeah, and again, guy with really solid wheels, a guy that you want on base. And down in that 9-hole, he's almost more representative of that second leadoff man, a guy who's really strong at getting on base, like you mentioned earlier, to then come around and get knocked in by this super strong top third of the order.
Reese flips it foul. It's 1-1. Marcus is playing in his 10th CCL game. Has been as much of an everyday player as you can get in the CCL for the Forresters. Comes into this game with an average of 407, which will likely have dipped below 400 with his ground out in the first inning. He's only struck out twice in now 28 at-bats this season. And again, another guy with an on-base percentage over 500. 1-1, Turner takes off for third, and Grease pummels it foul. Saints probably fortunate there. Turner got a great jump and had eyes for third base, but he'll have to go back to second as Grease shoots it down the right field line, but foul. One, two. Check swing, check down to first, and no swing. Actually checked down to about 10 feet to the left of the second base bag, which is where the first base umpire is standing. And would be very impressive if Bender could get Grease to go down via the K here. Only struck out twice so far this season. Turner takes off again, and Andrews held the glove there trying to get the call. Don't know if he would have had a shot at Turner at third base had he thrown anyway, but prioritized trying to get the strikeout instead of throwing down to third base. And 2 stolen bases for Christian Turner. He's at third, and now a full count on Grease. Here comes the 3-2. Swinging a chopper left side, in the hole, base hit left field. Grease hits a bounding ball through the left side. It's going to be the third RBI single already in the game for the Forresters, and it's 3-0 as Christian Turner comes all the way around.
Yeah, doing a great job as that quote-unquote second leadoff man down in the 9-hole, drawing a walk, getting on base, stealing bases, coming all the way around, getting 90 feet away for the top of the order, and this Forresters offense continues to execute.
So Bender has allowed runs in both innings he's pitched. Another runner goes. It's Grease down to second base, and Sawyer foul. Again, fortunate for the Saints. Bunts it foul. God, I wonder if they've got something on him. Seeming to run with almost every pitch right there. Again, Saints catchers have not been good, is the kind way to say it, at throwing out runners this season. But the Forresters are running at an extremely high rate. Already 3-0 Santa Barbara here in the top of the second. There's a check over to first. Probably a wise decision from Zach Bender, and Grease is back with a head first slide. Again, this is not just the Santa Barbara offense that has over 100 runs, but in 4 of the 11 games they've played, they've scored at least 13 runs. Scored 18 3 days ago against the Philippines baseball group and blanked them. An 18-0 final score. Actually, that was 2 days ago on Wednesday. And then, of course, yesterday, a signature win from down 4-2 in the ninth to win it 5-4. The Brady Janusek 3-run double to score 3 in the bottom of the ninth, and the Forresters won 5-4. So to Santa Barbara on an extreme high right now. Grease goes again, and another foul ball. Far doubled and came around to score in his first at-bat. He also scored the winning run yesterday on the double from Janusek, who the Saints saw 9 days ago, but is out of the lineup tonight. Again, these two teams will play each other again tomorrow, and against an opponent like Santa Barbara, you got to think the Saints would be thrilled with a 1-1 record, over the next 2 days. Marcus Grease at first base with 1 out. Here's Bender's 1-2. Nope, another check over to first, and Grease is back again with a head first slide. Well, Riley, the last game you called was the 13-12 game. That game's game time ran almost 4 hours, 3 hours and 52 minutes. I'm sure you were thrilled about being able to call that game for that long. And this one again, there goes Grease. Ground ball up the middle, doesn't hit the runner. Robinette is there, throw to first base is in time. So Grease into second base, but the Saints do get the out as Bryce Robinette throws out Sawyer Farr for the second out of the second.
Yeah, and again, Saints get the out, so productive there on defense, but great job once again executing by the Forresters, putting on the steal there in a 2-strike count for Farr, so that on that ball right there with the runner not being in motion would be a tailor-made double play, now only results in 1 out and a runner in scoring position.
Ball 1 low on Rutenbar. Andrews pounces on it to keep Grease at second base. Again, Forresters with a 3-0 lead. All of their runs coming on RBI singles. Marcus Grease had one, and Caleb Hoover and Kurt Ippolito also had runs scoring base knocks back in the first inning. Bender looks towards second, comes home with the 1-0, and it's crunched towards right center field. Mitchell on the run, back to the track. He's got it. Nice running catch in center field by Blake Mitchell. But another run for the Forresters in the inning. Through 1.5 here in Pasadena, 3-0 Santa Barbara. Forresters with 2 in the first, 1 in the second, and a 3-0. Light, Owen Mangini, and Cannon King due up against Calvin Prosky, back out for his second inning of work. Again, word on the street for Prosky is that there may be some big league scouts taking a look at him tonight, and certainly impressive first inning. Light takes a fastball on the outside corner for strike 1. Want to give a shout out to my broadcast partner Riley Horn, who is doing the Lord's work right now and fixing the cameras for all of the viewers out there. Crack to center field. Turner going back. It's over his head. It's off the wall. Light with a big swing. He's into second base with a leadoff double. The first hit for the Saints off Calvin Prosky goes for extra bases, and Zach Light with his first hit of the Saints is in the scoring position here to lead off the second.
I tell you what, that ball with maybe half a degree more of launch angle gets out of the yard. I mean, that ball hit couldn't have been more than 2 feet below that yellow line at the top of the fence. That one was so close to getting out of here. Incredibly well struck, and a great leadoff at bat after going 3 up, 3 down last inning for the Saints.
So runner on second base with nobody out for Owen Mangini, who has played third base but is DHing tonight and hitting fifth. Checked his swing, but he went around, strike 1. Well, I wasn't on the call, but you and Nick were on the call and had Joe O'Regan on the broadcast. No,
That was
Nick and Dylan.
That was Nick and Dylan.
Nick and Dylan, okay.
Yes, sir.
got a lot of broadcasters.
Yes,
but
we
they
do.
were on the call, and they had Joe Reagan, and he said that although Mangini maybe not performing up to the numbers he's wanted to so far this season, is not a guy you want to see get hot at the plate at all. When he gets going, he gets going. And good chance here, runner in scoring position. 1 ball, 1 strike to count. Now 2-1 as Prosky misses in the dirt. The right fielder, Cannon King, is on deck. Mangini lines one to left field, a base hit. Light did not get a good jump. He'll stop at third as that ball got out of the infield in a hurry. But it's a base hit for Owen Mangini. Back-to-back hits to lead off the second for the Saints. And Cannon King is up there as the tying run.
And I tell you what, you just mentioned Joe Reagan saying that Mangini, not a guy you want to get hot at the plate. He was quiet through the first 4 plate appearances that he had on Tuesday, and in his last one hit a 2-run home run. Got the night off on Wednesday against the Riptide, but stays hot, turning that home run into a single to put runners on the corners.
King shoots one towards left field. That's down, a base hit. Back-to-back-to-back hits to lead off the second for the Saints, and it produces a run. Zach Light crosses home plate, and Arroyo Seco's on the board, 3-1.
Yeah, great work offensively. Cannon King got really hot at the start of the season. Speaking of batters getting hot, and he continues to do so. His first plate appearance today, an RBI single. Saints back on the board. Just trailing 2 now, and you'd like to cut that lead even further down, still with nobody out and 2 runners on.
Prosky got all 3 Saints he faced in the first inning, and in the second inning, all 3 Saints that he's faced have gotten him. Double, single, single, and it's 3-1. 2 on and nobody out for Cam Andrews, who takes ball 1. Andrews, a Cal Baptist guy. Started most of the games to begin the season, but as Nick Nishiwa started tearing the cover off the ball, has now started to split the reps. The catching position for Arroyo Seco, one of the positions where they've got the most depth. 2 guys who are really, really elite. Mangini at second, King at first, and a 2-0 to Cam Andrews. Popped him up. Shallow center field, Turner coming in. He's got it for out number 1.
Number 17, Bryce Robinette.
Fastball over the heart of the plate, but Andrews just missed it off the end of the bat into center field, and Turner able to track this one down for the first out. So 2 on and 1 out now for Bryce Robinette. Bottom of the Saints order, but again, the guys at the bottom of the order very much capable of getting the job done. Robinette has hit everywhere in the lineup so far, and Blake Mitchell has swung the bat really well. Another beautiful day in Pasadena. The sun is shining, but not too bright. The beautiful San Gabriel Mountains offset to the left. Chopper, left side. That one is picked at shortstop, but having no play is Grease. It bounced off the glove of Salmon. Grease got it on the ricochet, but Robinette hustling out of the box is at first base, and the bases are juiced with 1 gone for Blake Mitchell.
Yeah, good hustle by Robinette to get all the way to first, but better stop there by Grease, going all the way over in the hole, showing off the range and knocking that one down. If that one leaks enough, or leaks into the outfield enough for Navarro, who would have had a super long run coming in, that one easily scores a run and gets the Saints within 1. So great job by Grease there to get the glove on it.
Well, we've already seen 2 maybe not incredibly hard hit balls get into left field off the bat of King for the Saints and Grease for the Forresters. Ball 1 as Mitchell checked his swing. That one would have been a third right there, but again, a great play to save a run. But the Forresters still very much not out of the woods. Saints, as they've done all year, not phased by the early deficit. They've got a run in the bank here. The base is loaded, and Blake Mitchell up at the plate, who takes a strike. It's 1-1. Forresters playing double play depth with Rutenbar pinched in at first. That one's in there on the fastball, strike 2. One, two. Mitchell goes after the breaking ball and did not get a piece of it. Strikes out on the breaking ball from Prosky. A big second out for the Forresters righty. And that'll turn the lineup over for Braden Flores, but now 2 outs in the second.
Yeah, and a great job just messing up the timing and the eye levels of Mitchell, going to that curveball in the dirt, inducing the swing and a miss, and a great job behind the dish by Becker to keep that one in front of him. We've seen wild pitches score runs all the time throughout this first portion of the season. So great job by Becker, knocking that one down, keeping it in front of him, and preventing a run.
Well, Braden Flores with 14 runs driven in. He leads the Saints. He's second in all of the CCL. Probably's got his eyes popping out of his skull with this opportunity right here. The base is loaded, and the Saints leadoff man grounds one right side and through, a base hit. Flores does deliver with the bases loaded. They'll go station to station as Ippolito got it in there. Back to second base safely is Bryce Robinette, but another run driven in for Braden Flores, and the Saints get one run more. It's now 3-2 as Flores drives in his 15th run of the year.
Yeah, and we have seen throughout this game so far a lot of offensive execution, but through the first 2 innings, it's been on the Forresters side of things. Now the Saints starting to turn things around. A great response after going 3 up, 3 down in the first inning is coming back, getting within a run. And if this game maintains the same pace and the same scoring levels that we see right now, we could be in for a pretty fun one.
Again, I've talked about it with Nick. I don't know how much I've talked about it with you, but I think even with Nick's our other broadcaster, by the way. But even with the Saints' 4-6 record, I think they've played a lot better, at least on the offensive side, than the record indicates. Again, they had the 5-run blown lead against Academy. If they don't blow that, they're in the playoff picture right now if the season ended. We're just past the 1/4 mark of the CCL season. But even against a team like Santa Barbara, 2 runs in the second against a guy in Calvin Prosky who is really, really good, was great for the Gauchos in collegiate ball. He's pitched well here in summer ball, as the first pitch is fouled back in out of play by Panarisi. But, again, the Saints doing a really good job of just hanging in there, keeping themselves in these ball games. And I said it on Wednesday, but the Saints are not an offense you want to see if you're one of these top teams, Orange County, Santa Barbara, in the playoffs. Conejo is another one. In the dirt, 1-1.
Yeah, and I think it was Nick as well that I was talking about this with, that after one of the Saints' losses, after a couple actually, you know, the Saints did take those L's, but they were what we like to say, or what we were saying, pretty good L's in that, you know, they weren't necessarily blowouts, or they weren't rough games, or it's not like one team completely blew out the Saints or just completely outplayed them. Like, the Saints have been in there, and they've been fighting, and they've been really scrappy. And there was a post on the CCL Instagram. Players asked, name one word to describe your team. The number 1 word was gritty, and I think that's the perfect word to describe the Saints.
1-2, bounce toward third, and under the glove of Nick Salmon. 2 runs are going to score for the Saints as the throw to the plate is not in time. Taking third base is Braden Flores. Nick Salmon couldn't glove the ball, bounced over there at third. 2 come in to score, and the Saints have put up a 4 spot in the bottom of the second and now lead the Forresters 4-3.
And we've, again, more offensive execution. That one, in a 2-strike count, you're just looking to put a ball in play. You don't want to go down by way of the K and strike out. You just want to get one in the field of play for that exact reason. You never know what can happen, and a ball could go right in between somebody's legs. That's exactly what happens. More runs come across for the Saints, and they have their first lead of the night.
Yeah, that's a great point. Again, Prosky is a guy who struck out 23 hitters in 31 innings at Santa Barbara last year. Definitely has the swing and miss stuff. Freer pops the first pitch up into left field. Navarro towards the line, has it, and makes the catch to end the inning. But the damage has most certainly been done. The Saints get 4 in the second and lead the Forresters 4-3 to the top of the third.
We're just getting a little warm-up toss in. Gotta love it. Gotta love it.
Central Michigan, wow. What a lucky place to have you. God, I wish I could have you all the time. What do we have over here? Pitchers, boring. Screaming. Yeah, there you go. You know, he can hear it from a mile away. He's got dog-like ears.
Easy smooth.
Easy smooth. 808 boys. Represent. Yeah.
Gotta get one.
Shout out, homies right here. Shout out, homies right here, getting us right, making sure we're in the game every day, getting our uniforms right. Thank you so much. What are you looking at, Keon?
Easy schmoo. Easy schmoo.
Easy smooth.
TV off, turn his TV off. Turn his TV off.
Well, for the third time in as many appearances, Zach Bender goes 2 innings. He gives up 3, but the Saints lead the Forresters 4-3 as we head to the top of the third. Middle of the Forresters lineup, 4, 5, and 6, Hoover, Ippolito, and Navarro against a new pitcher for the Saints, Griffin Rogers.
Yeah, Rogers with a 1-1 record on the summer so far. 3 total appearances. Really strong first one against the Academy Barons back on the 6th. 2 innings, giving up just 1 hit and nothing on the scoreboard. Then the second time around a week later against the Academy Barons, they must have got the scouting report pretty down on him because he gave up 7 runs in just an inning and 2/3, but then bounced back a couple nights ago against the Orange County Riptide and went a 3-up, 3-down clean inning.
Yeah, interesting. Not often that Saints will throw the same pitcher back out there multiple games in a row, but Aaron Milam opting to do it here with Griffin Rogers. Pitched on Wednesday against Orange County, now back out here at home on Friday against Santa Barbara. Hoover chops it foul. It's 1-1. Hoover only played in 8 games his sophomore year at the University of South Carolina. And now here in Santa Barbara playing his collegiate ball, looking for some more playing time and opportunities. Chops the next one up the middle. It's a high chopper. It's gloved by Robinette. Flip throw to first base, not in time. Heck of an effort by Bryce Robinette going towards center field, but no chance to get Caleb Hoover.
Yeah, can't be upset at Robinette there. He quite literally did all he could, tried to go for the Jeter play, going up the middle as a second baseman. We mentioned this earlier on an earlier play, just like that one, but a ball going to the second baseman's right, going up the middle. One of the hardest plays to make as a second baseman, and he did all he could, just couldn't get it over in time. And so you got to give props to Hoover there for legging out a full 90 and earning that one.
Squaring to bunt and pulling it back and taking ball 1 is Ippolito. Drove in Sawyer Farr with an RBI single back in the first. Also had 2 hits against the Saints when these two teams met right back here at Jackie Robinson Field 9 days ago. Comes from Trophy Club, Texas, is the name of the town he's from. 1-0, runner goes, and it's popped up back. Andrews doesn't know where it is. I don't either, and it's backing out of play. Polito finishing his junior year at Central Christian. A ball and a strike with Caleb Hoover on first base. Check swing foul, it's 1-2. Well, Forresters got 2 in the first and 1 in the second. All of those runs coming in RBI singles. And then, as they've done all year, Saints bounce back in the bottom half of the inning, getting 4 runs off of Calvin Prosky, and now have a 1-run lead, 4-3. Rogers to Ippolito with a 1-2, and Ippolito pops it up. Right side, light over into foul ground. Back a couple of steps, makes the catch, and Rogers retires Ippolito for the first out of the third.
Rogers bouncing back, giving up that leadoff single, then getting that unproductive out. And now in this situation, it's going to be kind of a toss-up of what we're going to see offensively from the Forresters. They did this earlier with 1 out, and they sent the runner in motion, breaking up a potentially inning-ending double play. But with a designated hitter in Hoover who doesn't have the best wheels, we'll see what they do.
A lot of interesting choices from the Forresters so far. They've been squaring to bunt a lot. They've been stealing a lot. And I say that's an interesting approach because, again, this is a team that is so incredible offensively that playing a little small ball does not really fit with what they've done in terms of the numbers category so far this season. Rogers fires home, and that one's clobbered towards right field. King on the run, but again, slicing foul. Navarro popped out to second in his first at-bat. Let's give Zach Bender a lot of credit there in the first inning. It was 2-0, and the Forresters had him at first and second with 1 out. But Bender is able to retire Navarro via the pop-out, gets Nick Salmon swinging, and it could have been a lot worse in that first inning, but keeps the Saints within striking distance, and strike they did. Runner goes again. This one, he's in there safely. A delayed steal from Caleb Hoover as the ball kind of squibbed away from Cam Andrews at home plate. I don't have the exact numbers, but I think it's probably almost 10 times now, whether they've gotten into second base or had to return to their base on a foul ball, that the Forresters have taken off running. And offensively, it's worked so far. 3 runs in the first 2 innings and threatening here in the third. Caleb Hoover at second base and only 1 out, and a 2-1 count to Makani Navarro, who skews it foul, 2-2.
And that one, Hoover, you could tell by the reaction from the Forresters dugout. They were fired up that he was able to swipe an extra 90 feet, read a ball in the dirt, and Andrews did a good job knocking it down, but he wouldn't have time to get up, pick it up, and recover and throw all the way down to second. So great job there by Hoover once again executing offensively on the base paths.
Rogers fires a 2-2, and Navarro cues it towards the left side. Flores over toward his glove slide. Throw to first base is in time. Heck of a play in the hole from Braden Flores, who drove in a run in the bottom of the second. Now here in the top of third makes a sensational defensive play for the second out of the inning.
Yeah, and very similar to plays we've seen Bryce Robinette attempt to make, going to his right, away from first base, momentum going all the way that way. A weird inside-out swing from Navarro, taking that inside pitch, trying to slap it the other way. But Flores does a great job getting the glove on it, planting that right foot, generating all that power for the throw across.
Well, Flores was all the way over at second base, holding on Caleb Hoover, and had to go maybe 15 feet to his right to make that play. Now ball 1 on Nick Salmon, who struck out his last time up. A runner at third base for the Forresters, but 2 outs in the inning. Inside, and it hit him. Fastball clips the rib of Salmon. And on a 1-0 count, Griffin Rogers plunks the 7-hole hitter for Santa Barbara. And now they've got runners at the corners and 2 outs for Zane Becker.
Now for Rogers, it's all about that mental side of things. You hit a runner, but you still have 2 outs behind you. You just need a ground ball, a fly ball, some sort of unproductive at bat here from Becker to get out of the inning without allowing another runner to score with a runner just standing 90 feet away.
Pretty big moment here earlier in this game. Saints lead at 4-3. But the Forresters are threatening. They've got runners at the corners with 2 outs, and Zane Becker, who's got a ton of power at the plate. Rogers with a 1-0 to Becker. Well, Ippolito is from Trophy Club, Texas. Becker is from Flower Mound, Texas. Big state, Texas. Gotta imagine there are a lot of towns with weird names. Although these aren't weird as they are more so cool. Flower Mound, Trophy Club. Those are awesome towns to be named from. I'm from a town called Los Angeles, California. It's not as unique as Becker and Ippolito's hometowns.
Yeah, Trophy Club. That's a sweet name.
2-1 inside, and it hit him again. Back-to-back hit by pitches from Griffin Rogers, and the Forresters have loaded the bases here in the third.
Gotta now bear down, flush the toilet for Rogers. Just get those out of your mindset. You've hit 2 batters in a row, but you gotta completely get that out of your head. And the veteran behind the dish, Cam Andrews, going to call a mound meeting, going to bring the whole infield in. We've seen him do this maneuver a couple times throughout the season. Very veteran move. Try and calm the pitcher down, especially after 2 hit-by pitches. Get everybody on the same page, lock everybody in, go get that third out.
Well, a week ago, Rogers kind of imploded in the 9th inning. He gave up 7 runs as the Saints blew a 10-5 lead, but got to give him a lot of credit for what he did on Wednesday. Walked a guy, but then bounced back and went 2 innings to record the save for the Saints over the Riptide. And into the game a lot earlier than he's been used so far this season. But, again, a huge spot early in this game against this Forresters offense. The bases are juiced with 2 outs, but it's the 9-hole hitter, Christian Turner, who walked his last time up. Again, this guy has 7 walks on the year. He's got a great eye. First pitch. Strike 1, Delayed call from the home plate umpire. But nonetheless, 0-1 on Christian Turner.
Yeah, and if we flash back on Tuesday, like you've mentioned a couple times, really long one, and the story of that one was free passes. In 8.5 innings of baseball, there were 20 walks on both sides. So trying to limit the damage now from the free passes.
Fly towards left field. It's carving into foul territory. Panarisi, no chance. And now 0-2.
And with the bases loaded, Caleb Hoover on third base, he reached by an infield single, but then Salmon on second, Becker on first. Those were both hit by the pitch. So you're trying to now prevent those runs from scoring, especially the ones via the free pass, as 2 of the 3 Forresters runs have already scored via the base on balls.
Oh-2 pitch. Low ball 1. And Christian Turner, every time he has seen a ball, is doing his own version of the Soto shuffle and stepping out of the box and either shaking his head, nodding his head, talking to himself. And, well, he's got a great eye. 7 walks on the year in just 4 games. Rogers is 1-2. Is popped up, left side. Freer on the run towards the wall, can't get there. Just out of the reach of Jacob Freer, and Christian Turner still alive.
Yeah, that one dying fast, a long way to run for Freer. We've talked about this plenty of times this season, but very deep foul territories here at Jackie Robinson Memorial Field. That one stayed in play, but it's just so long for Freer to run and so far that he can't track that one down.
Marcus Grease is on deck for Santa Barbara. Lines up the middle and caught by Braden Flores at shortstop. The Forresters load the bases, but they can't cash in. Griffin Rogers bends, but he doesn't break. We're through 2.5 here at Jackie Robinson Field. Still 4-3, Saints.
Yeah, it's got like a good moisture inside, which is always important. It's not dry. Super tasty. Good chocolate.
I'd give it like a 9. Like how it's hard on the outside, soft on the inside, gooey too. Got like a little melt to it. I'm gonna go 9.7 out of 10.
Check that bad boy out.
This is really good. It's like the crispy layer on the top with the gooey layer in the middle. They really complement each other very well. This is a 9.2. This is my highest ranked brownie for sure.
Like right amount of chocolate to whatever the other ingredient in there is. It's a 9.5.
I give this a 9 out of 10 right here. This is smacking. This has got to have hits in it today.
4-3 Saints as we head to the bottom half of inning number 3. 4, 5, 6, Zach Light, Owen Mangini, and Cannon King due up for the Saints against Calvin Prosky, who's back out for his third inning despite the 4-run second.
Yeah, 3 up, 3 down in the first. Saints bounce back in the second, put up 4 runs, and every guy in the Saints 9 got in that bat, so Zach Light leading off for the second time.
Light skies it to center field. Did what he did last time. This one more on a line and right at Christian Turner for out number 1. Second straight at bat, that Light has swung at the first pitch and hit a ball to deep center field, but this one not as much air under it, and Turner puts it away for the first out of the third.
Yeah, 1 for 2 in the scorebook, but 2 for 2 and really well struck balls. That one, again, maybe not as well struck as the first one, but really stung line drive that just found the glove of Turner.
1 out, nobody on for Mangini. Strike 1 on the inside corner. Mangini singled in the second, came around to score as the Saints batted around and put up a 4 spot. Fastball right there, strike 2. Swing and a miss at the breaking ball, strike 3. So Prosky strikes out Mangini's second strikeout of the day, and very quickly there are 2 outs in the bottom of the third.
And we talked in the pregame segment about the sort of scouting report of Prosky on the mound, not a guy with the most intensive velocity, but a guy with good stuff on his off-speed pitches, and that one right there absolutely nasty to get the swinging miss out of Owen Mangini.
King, a 3/4 swing at the fastball, down 0-1. Swung at the first pitch in his first at-bat and lined an RBI single into left field to get the Saints on the board. They would score 3 more times in the bottom of the second and took a 4-3 lead. That's where it stands right now. King primarily has played right field and DH so far this year. He's out and right so far today, but he's not had a ball hit out to him yet. Swings and misses at the breaking ball for strike 3. 2 Ks and a scoreless third for Calvin Prosky. Still 4-3 Saints as we head to the top of the 4th.
Baby, if I seem a little bit distracted, like I'm in another place and another time. Well, I apologize for the way I'm acting. I just got a lot of loving you on my mind.
Top of the 4th inning, 4-3. Saints lead it, and Griffin Rogers is back out there. Top of the Forresters lineup, Grease, Farr, and Rutenbar all getting their 3rd at-bats of the game here in the 4th inning. I'm going to turn it over to Riley for the play-by-play this inning, but he is hustling back from once again fixing the camera. Ball 1 upstairs. Riley, I'm going to give you a pitch or two to catch your breath here, and then I will hand the reins over to you. Grease 1 for 2 so far. Grounded out in the 1st and singled in the 2nd. Fastball outside, and it's 2-0. And with that, I will hand it over to my broadcast partner, Riley Horn. Riley?
Thank you, Max. Appreciate it. You know, I completely forgot that I was supposed to take over this half inning on play-by-play duties, and the best part is I don't even think I fixed that camera just yet. So I or somebody else will have to make that trek up that ladder in just a second, try and get that camera back on.
Well, sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, huh? But the good news is we still got 3 working cameras.
Yes, we do. We do have the capabilities, which I think is a pretty unique thing for CCL teams, is having a full 4-camera setup. I think most either have just 1 or 2, so pretty good broadcast setup we have here at Arroyo Seco.
Yeah, 3 of 4, 75% is pretty good. And in the game of baseball, it's very good.
That is very good. I mean, you hit 750, you're the best player to ever live, ever in the history of the universe. 3-1 pitch upstairs, leadoff walk. Drawn it by the Forresters, and another leadoff man on.
Well, the Saints have had an issue with allowing free passes so far this season, and it's coming back to bite them a little bit here again. 5 free passes, 3 via the walk and 2 via the hit by pitch so far this game. That is between Zach Bender and Griffin Rogers. But again, only 4 hits in this game for the Forresters. A lot of their base runners coming on walks or hits by pitches.
Big swing and miss on the first offering to Sawyer Farr. Yeah, again, we mentioned this earlier, but that Tuesday game, almost 4 hours long, 20 walks on between both sides in 8.5 innings, 3 hit by pitches, handful of other free pass stats as well, including wild pitches and errors, but we won't get into those as the runner goes. Pitch out, throw down, not in time. Stolen base for Grease to get him into scoring position.
Robinette tried to make a swipe tag on the back foot of Grease there, but just ain't unable to. We've seen both Nashiwa and Camden Andrews consistently throw down to the left side of the second base bag in order to give themselves the best shot at throwing out a runner, trying to catch the ball and tag the runner all in one motion, but unable to do so there, and yet another stolen base for Santa Barbara.
1-1 off the inside, 2-1 to Farr. Second baseman tonight for the Forresters. Doubled his first time up, scored a run with it as well. Grounded out back in the 2nd inning, getting his 3rd plate appearance here in the 4th. The runner in scoring position, tying run in scoring position. 2-1, lined the other way. That's going to get down for a base hit. That will score that tying run as Farr heads to second. He's going to put the brakes on there. Stand-up RBI double to tie this one up at 4 apiece.
Fastball over the outside part of the plate. Farr just goes the other way, and a huge gap in right center field between Blake Mitchell and Cannon King. And Saints did a good job of getting to that ball quickly. I thought off the bat that might be a triple for Sawyer Farr, but able to hold him at second. But again, the lead short-lived for the Saints, and the game is now tied.
Yeah, and I was sort of thinking along those same lines of that one could be a triple out of the box. But now Carter Rutenbar was still a runner in scoring position. He unloads on one, but it's way foul towards that Santa Barbara Forresters bullpen. And when I was going to fix that camera, setting the ladder up right behind home plate, I believe these are scouts right here behind home plate, and one of the Forresters coach came over, and I don't want to say I was eavesdropping, but I believe he said he's done for today, meaning the starting pitcher for the Forresters in Calvin Prosky. So likely somebody up and warming up in that Santa Barbara Forresters bullpen, as that one hits the helmet of Rutenbar.
Yeah, luckily seems to be okay. Didn't seem to catch the meat of the helmet. Just glanced off the top. Still scary. But again, another free pass issued by the Saints. That's 3 straight hitters that Griffin Rogers has allowed to reach here in the 4th.
So now 2 runners on, nobody out. As up steps the cleanup hitter, Caleb Hoover, is 2 for 2 with an RBI already tonight. Forresters already tied this game up this half inning and looking to retake the lead. First pitch upstairs to the cleanup man in Hoover.
Well, Riley, you have a much stronger baseball pedigree than I do in your years of playing. You're a college baseball player, former college baseball player, that is. When scouts are going to watch a guy pitch and he's done, do they typically stay or then leave?
It's very dependent, as the 1-0 gets fired back down to second base out of the hand of Andrews. In close play there, trying to backpick Sawyer Farr at second base. But to answer your question, it really depends on what they're looking for. If they're looking for a guy, you know, a pitcher and a pitcher only, and they want to look at one guy and one guy only, they'll probably just leave. But if they're in the need for maybe a position player or two, if they're in the need for another pitcher, if they're looking for other things, then, you know, they'll stay if they get something interested. And as the runners go, throw to third, not in time, kicks off the glove of Freer. And now both runners up into scoring position for the cleanup man, Hoover.
Well, the Forresters have run so much, they've probably run like a half marathon by now in terms of all the bases they've stolen. And they are extremely aggressive. This is probably something they've got on Camden Andrews or Nick Nishiwa. Camden Andrews behind the plate tonight, but has not been able to throw out any of these runners. And
3-0 and unloading to right field. Goodbye. Caleb Hoover, no doubt 3-run blast. Forresters up by 3.
well, the stolen bases didn't really come back to bite the Saints that time because all the runs would have scored whatever base they were on. Breaking ball right over the heart of the plate and just pummeled out to right field. Cannon King didn't even have to move. Now 7 runs in 3+ innings for the Forresters.
And that was a 3-0 count. Fastball just left over the plate, and Hoover got the green light and absolutely took advantage. That one way out of here over the right field wall. Is going around on the bunt is Kurt Ippolito, strike 1. So a walk, a double, a hit by pitch, and a home run to put 4 runs up on the board this half inning. No outs here in the top of the 4th. Rogers sailing one high and away, 1-1.
Already 4 extra base hits for the Forresters. They've stolen what we've said seems to be like a million bases. They've gotten the free passes. They've gotten the singles. They have done everything right offensively and have scored 7 runs. Again, we mentioned this is an offense that averages over 9 a game. Already 7 here with nobody out in the 4th inning.
1-2 to Ippolito. Fouled and out of play. The thing about the Saints offense, though, is that, you know, we've seen this time and time again this season. The responses offensively to when they go out defensively and give up a handful of runs. They've already responded once this game by putting up a 4 spot after taking a 3-run deficit. Now they're back in that 3-run deficit, and so coming back offensively, they're looking pretty optimistic, as that's a big swing and a miss from Ippolito, and he's down swinging for out number 1.
Yeah, that's a good point you make, Riley, and I think obviously early, only down by 3 runs, there's no reason to lose hope in this game, but I just feel like what they've done all year, which is falling behind and then trying to make some miraculous comeback, and give them credit, they've been able to do it a good number of times, just isn't sustainable. Eventually you will get to a point where the ninth inning magic, these great innings are going to run out when you're behind so much. And I think the game they had on Wednesday against Orange County was a great example of what they need to do moving forward. They jumped out to a lead in that game. They had a bases clearing double from Braden Flores in the 7th. That was in a tie game. They never trailed once, and it put a lot less stress on their pitchers on the mound, a lot less stress on their batters at the plate. But come right back here to home, and you're in an exciting seesaw back and forth game with the Forresters, but trailing again.
Breaker just a little off the outside edge, 1 ball, 1 strike. It's all about playing complementary baseball in the sense that when your pitching does good, you want your offense to do good. When your offense does good, you want your pitching and your defense to do well as well, and just have these comfortable wins throughout the season instead of these sort of give and take type of wins where you get, to your point, a couple runs given up, a couple of runs responded to, and like you said, that Riptide game, perfect example is that one's right back to Rogers on the mound. He flips it over easily for out number 2.
Here's number 15, Nick Salmon.
So up steps Nick Salmon with the bases clear and 2 gone. Strikeout and a hit by pitch so far today through his first 2 plate appearances. Lefty-lefty matchup. Rogers stereotypically in the advantage. Not necessarily sure on the split numbers for Nick Salmon, but it's always fun to see those guys with reverse splits where offensively they do better against a same-sided pitcher. Again, not sure about Salmon, but I've seen a handful of those guys, and those guys are really fun to watch.
No, it's fun, and typically you'll see guys do better against a guy who's not their type, in the sense that a right-handed batter will typically do better against a lefty will typically do better against a right-handed pitcher, and the reason for that is that the ball seemingly and does come slower when it's coming from the other side. You have more time to see it, as a swing and a miss makes it 1 and 2. But with the same hands, back and forth, it comes quicker. But again, there are some guys, like you said, who just have that advantage, and it is interesting to see. And, of course, the best is if you can be a switch hitter, because then you always get the advantage.
1-2 to Salmon. Shot into left and slicing out of play. We'll do the 1 and 2 again. On the ground, right side, off the first base bag, and a fair ball into shallow right field. King collecting, firing in, and a 2-out single off the bag for Nick Salmon.
Well, the interesting thing is I think that ball hitting the bag might have actually helped the Saints. The ball was hit extremely hard, and there was no chance that Zach Light was going to be able to get there at first base, but hitting the bag slows the ball down, and now only a single for Salmon instead of a double, although with the way the Forresters have run, there's probably a pretty decent chance he'll be standing at second base soon anyway.
Yeah, Salmon, big guy, definitely more of a power bat and not necessarily your slap hit, run around the bases type of offensive player. But like you mentioned, with the way that the Forresters have run their offense so far tonight, could see him going into motion if for any other reason than what we've seen a couple times from them tonight. If Becker gets into a 2-strike count, you try and get that runner in motion to force those infielders across the diamond over to first, which presents a multitude of, potential error possibilities as opposed to going the short way to second base. 2-0 the count to Becker.
Becker, one of the Forresters who got hit by a pitch back in the 3rd inning.
He pulls one sharply, but foul of third base, 2-1.
This is something we've seen with Griffin Rogers so far this season, is that Aaron Milam has really given him an extended leash. Did not pull him when the Saints lost 12-10 to Academy. Let him finish the game against Orange County on Wednesday, and now well into his second inning of work here today.
Runner goes, throw down to second base, not in time, and Nick Salmon might be hurt. I believe the tag that was attempted to be applied by Bryce Robinette might have got him off the face.
Yeah, I think Robinette couldn't glove the ball. He tried to make an incredible play, but unable to, and the ball deflected off of the face of Salmon.
That's a scary one. Both teams' trainers coming out, going to take a look at him. And the hope is that that ball came in a little bit tough to tell from our vantage point here. And, you know, we're not going to have the replays or the camera angles to look at. But the hope is that that one at the very least was caught by Robinette, and then the tag got him in the face, as the leather of the glove being tagged onto Salmon's face is a lot better than that ball going directly into him. I believe that Robinette did get the glove on it, and so it should be, you know, it could have been worse, but obviously still very scary and not a spot that, you know, you want to be on either side of this one. The last thing you want is players taken out with injury, and, you know, that's sort of the story of some baseball players in general is, you know, there's so much potential, but the injuries come in. This one, you know, not going to be a career-ending or a summer-ending injury, but definitely a scary one, and Salmon's still catching his breath.
And he's gotten banged up today. Got hit by a pitch in the last inning. Again, wasn't as bad, but a lot of times, a lot of people don't know this, I think, but with baseball players, their injuries or stuff are oftentimes an amalgamation of injuries they've amassed over the course of a long period of time. And at some point, there just is a straw that breaks the camel's back. Your body can only take so much. So, again, we hope and pray that everyone is okay. And looks like Nick Salmon is staying in the game at second base as Zane Becker digs back in. Now 3-1 count.
Yeah, 3-1 to Becker. Salmon looks like he's going to stay in. Good to see, you know, guys with those injury types. I mean, Mike Trout in the MLB back on the IL. That's a guy who just can't stay on the field and could be in the GOAT conversation if he had all those healthy seasons. As Rogers delivers the 3-1, swing and a miss, full count, not forced into motion as Salmon with a base open, but a full count and 2 outs to Becker.
Yeah, Acuna, that's another guy that comes to mind for
Definitely.
me in terms of since that ACL just hasn't been able to stay on the field. And him and Trout are two of, if not the most fun players to watch in all of baseball.
3-2 pitch, flied into right field. King, a long run towards the line and hauls it in for out number 3. But a 4 spot put up in the top of the 4th for the Forresters as they retake a 3-run lead as we head to the home half here on the Saints streaming network. Bottom of the fourth, Saints once again trailing by 3 as the Forresters go to the bullpen, and Calvin Prosky's day is done, and they go to right-hander Noah Waldeck.
Yeah, Waldeck throws 6 pitches, but really 4. The 4-seam fastball, the slider, the changeup, and the curve. So a lot of movement you're going to see coming out of this guy. St. Mary's guy. Sounds like someone I know. Maybe
That's
the
my
guy who I'm on this broadcast with. But it's got a 3-run lead out here for the Forresters after already the second 4-run inning of this game.
Yeah, Noah Waldeck, good buddy of mine, ex-teammate of mine. Delivers the first pitch. That one's off the inner edge to Cam Andrews, who's leading off here in the fourth. Flew out his first time up. Waldeck going from the windup, and I believe that's a new thing for him. I don't remember Waldeck coming out of that windup in the short time that I spent playing with him and the year and a half that I spent watching him from the broadcast booth. But a 2-0 count now to Andrews. Big swing and a miss from Andrews. Caught up with Waldeck before the game. He was out shagging balls in the outfield during the Forresters BP session. I made my way out there, said what's up. Always good to see guys out here in summer ball as opposed to just keep it to college ball, as that one bends the back of Andrews, and it's a 3-1 count, and he and I were catching up.
Yeah, I'm interested to know, what do a current baseball player and a former baseball player, or just two guys who have played baseball at a very high level in their lifetimes, talk about? Just randomly in the outfield.
3-1 pitches inside, so ball 4 to Andrews. I mean, we were just talking about a lot of things. It wasn't just baseball. You know, we're good buddies outside of the field, and so we were just kind of catching up on a personal level. We haven't seen each other in, a month or two, and he's a good buddy of mine. So we were just kind of, catching up. Hey, how you doing? How's summer going? All that kind of stuff. But, baseball-wise, the main thing we were really talking about is his sort of summer season so far, where he's looking to take this summer. As Cam Andrews takes off from first, throw down in plenty of time to gun down Cam Andrews for out number 1.
Yeah, good throw behind the plate by Becker, who has got, again, a cannon of arm. He can play in the outfield as well, but catching today, and throws down, swipe tag by Grease at second base. So the Saints get a leadoff base runner, but immediately erased. And the base running so far working out a lot better for Santa Barbara than it is for the Saints.
Little catcher on catcher crime. Becker gunning down the catching counterpart. Cam Andrews for out 1 it's a 1-1 count to Bryce Robinette. Now make it 1-2. Good slider, but off the outer edge. Made Robinette think about it, but he holds back 2-2.
Yeah, Robinette single in the second, came around to score in that 4-run inning. But Saints already in another deficit.
This one tapped right back in between the plate and the mound. Fielding is Becker and firing over for out number 2.
Well, Becker has recorded both outs this inning from the catcher position, throwing out Cam Andrews at second. Now a nice play right there to throw out Robinette. Those are always tough when it's right in between home plate and the pitcher's mound. Communication is key, but Becker takes charge and makes the play, and 2 outs in the 4th.
Again, going back to Waldeck and I out in the outfield, we were sort of talking about his summer so far, and he told me he was going to be the first one out of the pen today, and that's what the Forresters coaching staff told him, and that comes to fruition. On the summer in general, 3 other appearances. He's pitched 4 innings, and he hasn't given up a run just yet, with 4 strikeouts in each of those 4 innings.
Well, this is the first I'm hearing of this. You saying it was going to be the first out of the pen. That's the issue with saying it right now. If you'd said it in the first 3 innings, we would have gotten an insight into it. But now, you could be lying. You could just say that, We don't know if it's true.
No, that is a good point.
I trust you, but I don't know how many of our listeners. No, I can't really see your face. They don't get to know you as well. But I believe you, and so.
That's true. Although our listeners at home might be able to see us. That center field camera kind of pointed straight at us.
Oh, that is a good point.
Should we give them a wave?
Yeah,
Let's give them a
absolutely.
wave. That's us if you can see us.
Riley is the one standing up. Don't worry, I'm sitting down. He's not like 3 feet taller than I am.
1-2 lifted into right center field. Coming in on it, Turner, and he makes the grab to retire this side. 3 up, 3 down inning, and Waldeck comes in, faces the minimum. As we head to the 5th inning, Forresters still ahead by 3. Back here for the top of the 5th inning. Forsters looking to extend upon their 3-run lead. Number 3 leading things off here in the 5th inning. 9-1-2, Christian Turner, Marcus Grease, Sawyer Farr against a new Saints reliever, Oscar Salazar.
Yeah, Salazar coming in. This is going to be his 4th appearance on the air. He's thrown 9 1/3 innings pitched, given up 6 runs. But the most important thing right now for the Saints is to get some length out of him. Only the 5th inning of this one, still at least 15 outs left to cover in this game, and Salazar so far has done a good job of providing some length on the mound.
First pitch off the outside, and Turner back to doing his version of the Soto shuffle. Very expressive with his head nods and head shakes as he takes a hack and fouls it off. 1 ball, 1 strike.
What's your opinion on that? Riley, as another baseball player, what's your opinion on that? If you're, is this like if you're on this guy's team, you love it. If you're not on his team, you don't like it?
As that one's pulled through the right side into right field for a base hit. You know, I personally don't have much of a preference on it, just because you got to know that if that's that guy's way of locking himself in and staying dialed in the batter's box, then that's what he needs to do. But it's kind of funny because there was a Instagram reel, a TikTok posted by the Saints last summer where all the players were asked what their biggest baseball ick is, as in something that they really don't like. And I think the runaway answer in that video was players shaking their head at pitches, or I don't remember exactly if it was when they take a strike and then nod their head. I think that's what it was. But something along those lines was a lot of the Saints players' biggest icks last summer. So we'll see if something similar goes on this summer.
Yeah, I remember back in his Miami days, before he came over to the Dodgers, Miguel Rojas got into a scuffle with Jazz Chisholm about that because he kind of adopted the Soto shuffle, and then Miguel Rojas said something like, "You're not Juan Soto, kid," and sort of imparted his veteran wisdom and, you know, taught a lesson to Chisholm, who of course, now is on the Yankees and is still a very expressive player. But that is a good point about the Saints last summer. It's working for Turner, though. He's been on twice so far, walking a hit.
Yeah, remaining expressive, a guy with good wheels. We've already seen him steal 2 bases back in his first plate appearance in the second. He was walked, stole second, stole third, then would come around and score. But on that ball a couple pitches ago that skipped away from Andrews, he clapped to himself out of frustration that he didn't steal as he goes now, ground ball on the left side, Freer across the diamond. No chance of getting Turner already on the move at second, so he settles for at least 1 out and gets it at first base.
Yeah, this is an indication of yet another advantage that the Forresters are getting by running. Second time today that they've hit a ground ball to the left side of what very well could have been a double play, and the Saints have had to settle for 1. Good job by Jacob Freer just getting 1 there. Long throw from third base, but no double play for the Saints as Turner moves into scoring position.
So now the 2-hole hitter Sawyer Farr, 2 runs scored himself already today. Trying to drive 1 in as he takes an excuse me swing for strike 1.
Yeah, 2 extra base hits as well. Double in the first, double in the fourth. And you mentioned he scored both times.
Long look in on the mound for Salazar. Gets his sign. Long hold, couple checks back, now delivers, as that one's off the outer edge. Count evens up for Sawyer Farr. 1 ball and 1 strike with 1 out, 1 runner on base in the form of Christian Turner. Singled through the right side and then moved up to second on the Marcus Grease ground out. That one down low. 2 balls and 1 strike.
Well, a good rule of thumb in baseball is that to have a good offensive day team-wise at the plate, you want to get your best hitters 5 at-bats, the top of your lineup. If you could do that, then typically you're going to score a good chunk of runs. We're in the 5th inning, and the Forresters' best hitters, rather, are already getting their 4th at-bats.
This one takes a skip and heads all the way to the backstop. 3 balls and 1 strike to Farr, with Turner now moving up 90 feet away with just 1 out.
Saints bring the infield in here.
3-1 pitch skips away from Andrews. It'll be ball 4 to Farr, but coming home to score is Christian Turner. He maintains that sprint all the way into the dugout. And I don't know if maybe I'm going a little bit crazy, but at least from what I was looking at, I don't know that that Christian Turner touched home plate. I think his foot missed a little bit off to the right. Doesn't look like the Saints picked up on it, so maybe I am going crazy, and he did touch it. Just a weird angle from my vantage point.
Yeah, he went really quickly. Brandon Nimmoed it all the way to the dugout there.
Runner goes, throw down, kicks off the glove, and stopped by Bryce Robinette doing the backup duties, potentially saving an extra at 90 feet, but Sawyer Farr now up into scoring position.
You know, in baseball, you'll typically have guys in the dugout. Sometimes starting pitchers who aren't starting, or guys who have days off, who their role for that game is to watch and make sure that all the opposing hitters are touching the bases. If they miss first base, they miss second base, they miss third, home, whatever it may be, and alert the team to it so that they can appeal and try to get that guy. Clayton Kershaw did that a lot in his tenure with the Dodgers when he wasn't pitching. He was that guy for them. Don't know how it is typically instituted here in collegiate summer ball, but again, either the run scores and this is all a moot point, or the Saints missed opportunity.
Yeah, there's always something to be done on a baseball field. To your point, those guys in the dugout, they always have a role, whether it be making sure guys touch bases, whether it be looking at the opposing team's third base coach trying to pick their sign, whether it be trying to pick up a cue for a pitcher or even a catcher trying to tip a pitch. There's always something to be done. That one floats upstairs to Rutenbar, who was hit by a pitch and walked today and has scored on both of them. But there's always something to be done, and there was something that back when I was in Little League, my dad, who was my former coach, would always tell me is base, ball, or backup, that being applicable to when you're in the field. You either, or ball, base, backup, excuse me, your priorities are to get the ball. If you can't get the ball, get on a base. If you can't get on a base, back somewhere up. And there's always something to be done on the field, but that goes the same for off the field as well.
Now walk right there with 1 out to Rutenbar. Now 2 on and 1 out. In Rutenbar's 4 plate appearances, he has been walked twice and hit once. So the Saints not really putting the ball over the plate for this guy, but I'm going to count him up right now on my sheet. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now 8 batters have reached for the Forresters via either a walk or a hit by pitch. And this has kind of been the story all year.
Now if, Carter Rutenbar wasn't the guy that you want to be too fully in the zone for, this definitely not the guy either. Caleb Hoover, who his last time up in a 3-0 count, got the green light and unleashed one over the right field wall to score. Both Farr and Rutenbar, who stand in the same positions.
Yeah, I think they just got a back pick at second base. Picking off Sawyer Farr, who was at second base for the second out of the inning.
So that changes things.
Yeah, big play right there. The second base umpire actually signaled safe, but a second later, Farr runs back to the dugout. So the second out of the 5th inning.
So now runner goes, swing and a miss, so it won't matter. Strikeout to retire the side, but one more added on for the Forresters. They double the Saints, lead by 4. Saints looking to get those back come the bottom of the 5th.
We're just getting a little warm-up toss in. Gotta love it. Gotta love it.
Central Michigan, wow. What a lucky place to have you. God, I wish I could have you all the time. What do we have over here? Pitchers, boring. Screaming. Yeah, there you go. You guys, he can hear it from a mile away. He's got dog-like ears.
Easy smooth.
Easy smooth. 808 boys. Represent. Yeah.
Gotta get one.
Shout out, homies right here. Shout out, homies right here, getting us right, making sure we're in the game every day, getting our uniforms right. Thank you so much. What are you looking at, Keon?
Easy smooth. Easy smooth.
Easy smooth.
TV off, turn his TV off. Turn his TV off.
We're halfway home here in Pasadena as the top of the Saints order is going to be leading off the bottom of the 5th. Flores, Panarisi, Freer, the 1, 2, 3 spots of the Saints order. Once again against Noah Waldeck, who threw 1 inning so far. Faced the minimum, gave up a walk, but Cam Andrews caught stealing at second base. Resulted in out number 1, and got a ground out and a fly out for a clean inning. As he comes out for a second inning of work and deals one outside to Flores, who singled his last time up. This one on the ground to the right side. Handling it is Sawyer Farr, the second baseman. He goes to first for the 4-3 putout.
Yeah, third time today that Braden Flores has hit a ground ball. This one not quite as solidly hit as the other two. No big deal for Farr at second base for out number 1 of the 5th.
Carson Panarisi, who reached on an error back in the second, grounded out back in the first. Now against Waldeck. As this one's lined sharply into the left center field gap. That one's down, rolling towards the wall as Panarisi is heading for second. Collecting it is Nabarro. Putting on the brakes at second base is Panarisi with a 1-out double.
Well, Panarisi last time up drove in too. He got help at third base from Nick Salmon, who couldn't glove it cleanly. And then this time up, ropes a base hit into the gap in left center field and ends up at second base. And the last time the Saints had a runner on second base in an inning, they scored 4 runs. So how about they do it again, huh?
Chasing 4 runs, could tie it up once again as up steps Jacob Freer, who in some very recent news earlier today committed to be a Santa Clara Bronco for the upcoming season. Came from Azusa Pacific University, hit the portal, and is now going up to Northern California, playing in the Bay Area for the Bronco program. This one's fouled off.
Congratulations to Jacob. Huge. Santa Clara, great school.
Great school, good program up in the WCC. 2 flyouts to left field for Jacob Freer tonight. Speaking of commitments, I'll say this, that in my conversation with Noah Waldeck out in the outfield during BP, he let me in on a little secret, and I'm sorry I'm going to have to gatekeep this just a little bit.
Oh, man.
But Noah
you
Waldeck...
can't say you got a secret and then not tell us.
Well, I'll tell a little bit in that Noah Waldeck has hit the portal. He'll be transferring out of St. Mary's, and he is going to be announcing his commitment here in the next day or two, and he told me where he was going, and I apologize. I am going to have to gatekeep because I want him to make that official announcement. But he will be committing somewhere in the near future, and the next time that the Saints play the Forresters, we'll get that information out on the air.
Can you give us a conference or a state? Give us something?
I'm not going to give anything because I want Waldeck to have that announcement to himself.
All right. Well,
but he's going to another collegiate baseball program. That's what I can say.
Congrats to both the guy at the plate and the guy on the mound right here.
Absolutely. 1-2. Hit in the air to shallow center. Turner charging in and makes the grab for out number 2. Staying put at second base is Panarisi. 2 gone.
Yeah, I thought that one might drop off the bat, but the air kept carrying it. And Christian Cerner, who has been all over the place in center field today, gets to that one to keep Panarisi at second base.
So up six, Zach Late doubled his first time up, lined out a second time up. Runner in scoring position with 2 gone. As we are halfway through this ball game here at Jackie Robinson Memorial Field, Forresters up by 4 runs, 8-4 ball game. Broken bat on the right side, gloved by Rutenbar over to Waldeck in time for out number 3. Another relatively clean inning for Noah Waldeck. Surrenders a base runner, but no runs across as the Saints go quiet for the 3rd inning in a row. 8-4 ball game heading to the 6th.
My name is Trotter Enright. I play baseball at Long Beach State. I'm a freshman shortstop, and I'm from Newbury Park, California.
What about baseball draws you in that way?
Yeah, just the failure, honestly, like the constant drive and want to be like perfect. You know, like you always want those four days. You always want those days where you don't make an error. Like you always, want to get better. Like you're always not good enough.
47. Get through this one.
It has been my life. Sacrificing days off and days on. Like putting my blood, sweat, and tears into this. Like. That's at the end of the day, I want this to be my career, so I take it pretty seriously and, do everything I can to win and put myself in the best situation possible for real.
Sixth inning action here at Jackie Robinson Memorial Field, right across the street, from the world-famous Rose Bowl Stadium up here in Pasadena. Beautiful night here. Sun now completely behind the mountains behind us as the field is overtaken by shadows. Lights are on as we approach the twilight hour here in Southern California. Kurt Ippolito, Makani Navarro, Nick Sam on the 3-2 up, going to work against Oscar Salazar, who's out for his second inning of work, as the first offering from Ippolito fouled off.
Ippolito 1 for 3. He singled back in the first, but popped to Zach Light and then struck out in the fourth. And if you're Oscar Salazar right now, you got to keep it at a 4-run deficit.
And he's inducing weak contact so far to Ippolito, who's yet to have a ground out today, but 2 ground balls foul of third base so far this at-bat as Salazar heads out for a second inning of work. Both Zach Bender and Griffin Rogers, the starter and the first out of the pen for the Saints, went 2 innings, giving up 3 and 4 runs respectively, and then Salazar giving up an unearned run last inning, puts 8 on the board for the Forresters, as that one's low and away. 2-2 now, the count to Ippolito. So we'll see if Salazar goes out for potentially a third inning of work, or if the Saints going to keep it at that sort of 2-inning mark per pitcher tonight. That one fouled straight back. Do the 2-2 again.
Well, typically in Collegiate League Baseball, you will have a designated plan going into the game of who you want to pitch. And although you try to win the game, oftentimes you'll prioritize getting their guys in work over the situation. A good example of that would be, as that one's bounced foul, Griffin Rogers, for example, right? He struggled a little bit, but they really wanted to get him that 2 innings of work, so they left him in there. And again, you come in with these plans. Sometimes they change, but oftentimes the blueprint you have before the game is what you stick with during the game, whereas in, say, the major leagues or the Men's College World Series, for example, if something is going awry, you quickly go to plan B, C, whatever.
2-2 to Ippolito way upstairs, full count to the Forresters right fielder. Payoff pitch. That one swung on and missed for strike 3. Second strikeout in a row for Salazar. That's number 2 on the outing.
Yeah, with the fastball, Ippolito could not catch up. Second time that he has struck out today, and you said second strikeout for Salazar. So a good start to the inning for a Saints, who oftentimes in these innings have kind of been behind the 8 ball in terms of allowing leadoff walks, runners to reach.
This one's lifted on the left side. Freer going back. Flores over Flores. Going to call off Freer to make the grab for a quick out, number 2.
Nice play by Braden Flores over there towards the line in left. And I say it's a nice play because, well, it looks like an easy pop-up. This is stuff that the Saints and their opponents have had a lot of trouble with. Again, these guys don't know each other well. Those quick communications on the fly balls dropping can be tough to make. I remember the last time the Saints played the Forresters, we saw Landon Schaefer, who's out of the lineup tonight, drop a pop-up to third base on the very first pitch of the game. But again, a long run for Braden Flores, who's in the hole going all the way towards the left field line to go and make that play.
Pinch hitter now, taking the spot of Nick Salmon, is Joshua Woodworth. Hoping that Salmon is not getting the rest of the night off due to that injury that we saw him had out at second base, where a throw down rather from Andrews caught the glove of Robinette, which caught then the face of Salmon. So hoping that he's going to be all right. He stayed in the game, but now they're going to go to a pinch hitter in Joshua Woodworth, who's batting .286 with 6 batted in this summer.
Yeah, hope it's just precautionary right there. Again, these two teams going to play each other again, so get Nick Salmon out of the game, who has been really good for the Forresters, and get him some rest and some innings off his feet.
1-2 count now to Woodworth, the pinch hitter. 3 in a row retired by Salazar after giving up back-to-back walks, so a good bounce back for him as this one's on the ground. High chop to Freer, long throw across in time for out number 3. 3 up, 3 down. Silent inning for the Forresters, and the Saints looking to use that momentum to get 4 runs back. Bottom 6 here between the Arroyo Seco Saints and the Santa Barbara Forresters. Riley Horn alongside Max Langer taking you through the action tonight. Been back and forth, but through the past 3 innings, the Forresters have been able to take and maintain a 4-run lead. And after a 3-up, 3-down, a half inning ago, the Saints are going to look to ride that momentum and take it into offense here.
Well, Calvin Prosky went 3 innings, and now Noah Waldeck out there for his 3rd as well. Both of them, again, aside from that 4-run second that the Saints had, both of them have put up zeros throughout their night. And Saints are kind of running out of outs here.
Still a good chunk of ball game left. Saints can afford a run every inning or every set of at-bats that they have and at least extend this one.
That is true, but they can't let the Forresters score as well if that happens.
That is true. Barring the fact that the Forresters, or barring Forresters adding on more insurance runs to their total. 3-1 count to Owen Mangini, followed up by Cannon King, Cam Andrews here in the 6th inning. Waldeck deals in the zone for strike 2.
Yeah, Mangini thought that was ball 4, but doesn't get it. Really hard hit single on his first at bat. Looking to get on here.
That one might have broken the bat of Mangini. At least it sounded like it, but maybe not. He's going to keep wielding that lumber and do the full count pitch again.
I like that, wielding that lumber. Sounds like a swordsman. Oh, maybe it did break the bat.
Never mind. Looks like the bat is broken.
Spoke too soon. The classic Riley Horton jinx. I don't know if it's classic, but we're going to make it classic.
I thought I heard that one shatter a little bit of the wood. And it definitely did. You can always just tell by the sound whether something's broken or not.
Well, you've watched probably, I don't know, more than 2,000 innings of baseball. Well, way more than that. You've watched a lot of innings.
That's too much math for me.
So when the sound happens, you will know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
you can just tell. That's too much math for me to try and do. Payoff to Mangini. Swung on and missed for strike 3. Big eruption from the Forresters dugout on the first out of the 6th.
Yeah, devilish breaking ball right there from Waldeck. Slider that started right over the middle of the plate and then broke, ended up all the way in the left-hand batter's box for the first strikeout and out of the 6th inning.
One gone here. Cannon King steps up. one of the newest UCSD Tritons. Are they the Tritons or the Tridents? I'm actually embarrassed that I don't know that now, and I'm second-guessing myself.
I'm going to go with the Tritons.
That's what I thought.
Tritons.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
The Tridents are the...
That might not
yeah,
exist.
I'm not going to get there.
I think I just made that up on the spot, but I second-guessed myself. I got scared.
All right, let's go with the Tritons.
I think I was right the first time, though. Fingers crossed I was.
The Tridents are those three tined forks that you point in the air on a battle.
Yes, the Tritons.
The Tritons.
I was right. Had me nervous, though. But I think the Trident is the logo of the pitchfork three-pronged thing that you were just talking about.
Yeah.
Correct? Which is why I got that mixed up.
All right, let's do some research.
Nothing like getting a little bit lost.
Yeah,
live on
the
the
Trident is the logo. It's rotated at an angle.
Okay.
And then Triton is the name.
Got it.
Got to assume that is a intentional choice right there. Sorry for any audio issues on that one.
No, I think that might have just been our audio. Not sure. Weird sixth inning unfolding already here.
Triton versus Trident, audio issues.
Weird sixth inning. 1-2 count to Cannon King. Waldeck delivers. King grounds it right back to him. Waldeck going to flip it to his bare hand and over to first base for out number 2.
Well, this is the second really impressive play that Noah Waldeck has made on the mound. To end the 5th inning, he got a flip from Rutenbar that he was able to get to first base on. That was extremely impressive because his body was, and the momentum was shifted all the way down the right field line. And then here, Cannon King hits the ball very well, but picked in the air by Waldeck, and then the toss to first for out number 2.
So now Cam Andrews with a fly out and a walk so far today. 3rd plate appearance. He bends out of the way of the first offering from Waldeck. One-0 count. Goes back to that bender. Gets his call strike. Even though I think Andrews might have gone around either way. It doesn't matter. Home plate umpire says it's in the zone, so it's a strike nonetheless, 1-1. That one down in the dirt. Trying to go back to the slider and get the swing and a miss, but a little too non-competitive from Waldeck.
Yeah, Andrews 0 for 1. He flew out to center field in the 2nd. That was in the midst of the Saints' 4-run rally, but again walked in the 4th, but then was promptly thrown out trying to steal second base.
2-1, 2 gone. Nobody on base. That one upstairs, 3-1.
And Noah Waldeck has been fantastic. Maybe he knows you're calling the game and is doing, pouring it out there for his old teammate and now, I guess, well, now former broadcaster as you are transferring as well. Can I announce that? Or
that is announced,
all right,
yes.
Arizona State. I didn't want to say it and then be like, you need to have your moment.
No,
I had to check.
Yes, that is out there. That is public information, even though nobody really cares too much.
Hey, I care, man.
But hey,
I
thank
care.
you.
I care.
Thank you.
Arizona State's a great school,
But
especially for sports media.
yes. Walk to Cam Andrews. He's aboard first base. Yeah, again, Waldeck going to be transferring, but I will not yet announce where to, even though I got that insider information. But when I was letting him go, letting him get back to his ball retrieving duties out there in the outfield, after he told me he was going to be the first out of the pen tonight, I wished him the best of luck and said, I'm rooting for you, but I'm not rooting for you because I you know, as broadcaster for the Saints, I obviously want the Saints to do as best as they can, but I'm also rooting for my buddy up there on the mound. So, you know, kind of win-win, lose-lose, however you want to look at it.
Let me just ask you one question about the school he is going to, and you can answer it or not answer it.
I don't know if I will.
Is he going to Fordham University?
He is not. I will say that. I will say that. So you will not get the pleasure of seeing Noah Waldeck up on a Fordham baseball mound.
What could have been?
What could have been? What could have been? 0-1 count to Bryce Robinette. That one's in the air on the right side, foul territory. Long run over, out of our view line, and looks like catch was not made by Carter Rutenbar.
Yeah, Rutenbar tried to make an over-the-shoulder basket-style catch that we've seen Freddie Freeman do so many times. A lot of first basemen, but Freddie Freeman has perfected it over there at first base. Rutenbar unable to, but going down towards the Forresters bullpen there beyond the foul line in right field. Really tough play, and new life for Robinette.
And right over in that area on the last pole, right where our camera's set up, we got a Hawk visitor up top there. Just diving back safely on the pickoff attempt is Andrews. I think that's a Hawk up there. It just flew in, perched up there right before that foul ball was hit, nearly right at it. And there it goes, right across the field. Hopefully that gets in camera shot. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that is a beautiful bird.
That one down in the dirt and skipping all the way to the backstop off the chest of Becker. Holding up at second base is Andrews. He's in the scoring position.
Well, you mentioned that if the Saints can get a run every inning and hold the Forresters scoreless the rest of the way, they would force extra innings. This is a big stolen base right here in terms of trying to get that one run this inning, because now a single could potentially bring home Cam Andrews.
1-2 the count to Bryce Robinette. Singled his first time up, came around to score, grounded out back in the fourth. Waldeck deals. Down low. Count goes even at the deuces. Wild. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs with a runner on second base. 8-4 ball game here in the bottom of the 6th. 9 hits for the Forresters, 6 for the Saints. 1 error on the Forrester side, none on the Saints side, as that one's grounded foul to first base. We'll do the 2-2 again. Eight, 9, and 1, 4, 6, 0. Once again across the lines for both teams here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Two-two pitch on the ground, handled by the third baseman Woodworth, who goes across for out number 3. Another silent inning for the Saints. Noah Waldeck continuing to cruise as the Forresters still lead by 4 heading to this back third here at Pasadena.
Baby, if I seem a little bit distracted, like I'm in another place and another time. Well, I apologize for the way I'm acting. I just got a lot of loving you on my mind. Ever since there's a morning, I've been wondering how you do that thing you did last night.
Top of the 7th here between the Forresters and the Saints, and I will once again kick over the play-by-play duties to my partner, Max Langer. Max, take it away.
Well, thanks very much, Riley. 8-4 ball game here in the top of the 7th. Forresters doubling up the Saints right now, 8-9-1 coming up for Santa Barbara against Oscar Salazar, who's back out there, the third pitcher of the day for the Saints. And he has more or less held the Forresters in check, given as much of an opportunity to this Saints offense the rest of the way as he can. Becker slaps the second pitch into left center field, a base hit. It is cut off out there by Panarisi, and Becker will hold on with a leadoff single.
Yeah, so with a 4-run lead now, the Forresters likely know that being a CCL opponent, the Saints have that strong offense and have come from behind a handful of times. They play that, give and take sort of style of baseball that we've seen this season, so they're going to want to tack on as much as they possibly can, and a leadoff base runner is a great way to do it.
So a leadoff runner for Christian Turner now. Squaring the bunt, pulling it back, and taking strike one is Turner. Becker with his first hit of the day. And now the only guy in the Forresters lineup who does not have a hit is Makani Nabarro, who is 0 for 4. Outside 1-1. And that is strike 3. Fastball got him looking, and no approval head nod from Christian Turner this time as he heads back to the dugout and takes with him a strikeout, the first of the 7th inning.
And at least, I think according to my count, that's now the 6th strikeout for the Forresters offense, but the first one looking. So they've been taking their hacks today. They've come out aggressive, and it shows with 8 runs on the scoreboard here in the 7th.
And I can confirm you are right. There is action in the Forresters bullpen. Nick Salmon is throwing a football. He's not the one warming up, so good news, he seems to be okay, playing catch with a teammate. And Trent Roach is warming up with a baseball, more specifically, in the pen. Or rather, he was. Now he is just more soft tossing. Again, the Forresters have gotten 3 innings from Prosky and now Waldeck as they lead at 8-4. Grounded right side and through, a base hit for Grease. Becker will cut the bag and stop at second base. Throw goes into Braden Flores. And now 2 on in the 7th for the Forresters. Grease with his 2nd hit of the day, and Santa Barbara is threatening again.
And they're going to look to tack on more, but at least at this stage of the game, they've got a new hitter coming in. It's Joseph Sandusky, who I believe checked in last half inning as a defensive substitution and now going to get his first at-bat of the day in the spot of Sawyer Farr.
Salazar to Sandusky with ball 1, kicks away from Andrews, and the runners will advance. Becker into 3rd, Grease into 2nd, and now the Forresters have 2 in scoring position with only 1 out for their new pinch hitter, Joseph Sandusky. And they take out Sawyer Farr. A little confused as to why. He was having a great game, 2 extra base hits, both doubles. He walked in the 5th, 2 for 3 on the day, but his day is done as the Saints will bring the infield in here. Again, 8-4 ball game. And runners at 2nd and 3rd with only 1 out. Ball 2 from Salazar. And you got to think that this will likely be his last inning. There is a base open, but Carter Rutenbar, who's been on 3 times tonight, is on deck. 2-0. Right there, strike one.
And Sandusky checking in for Farr, like you mentioned, Farr with a really strong day today, but Sandusky with a really strong season so far. 6 games played, batting .333 with 5 RBIs on the season. And looking to add more to that tally, try and get the Forresters up to double digits.
Sandusky's a Texas A&M guy. Pinch hitting here in a fairly big spot, ahead 3-1 of Oscar Salazar. Forresters got 2 in the first, 1 in the third. Saints bounced back and put up a 4 spot in the bottom of the second to take a 4-3 lead, but in the top of the fifth inning, or excuse me, the fourth inning rather, it was the Forresters with a 4 spot of their own. This one's driven into left center field. On the run is Mitchell. He won't get there. 2 runs are going to score. Into second base with a pinch hit RBI double is Joseph Sandusky, and the Forresters have double digits. It's 10-4.
Yeah, that's exactly what you want out of that pinch hitter, coming in a big spot and absolutely capitalizing. We've seen that from the Forresters offense all day today, not necessarily the pinch hitter part per se, but the capitalizing and the taking advantage of their opportunities, and Sandusky does a good job of keeping with the trends.
Well, that is the 3rd double that the Forresters have gotten out of the 2nd spot in the lineup tonight. The first 2 coming from Sawyer Farr and now Sandusky. An extra base hit with runners in scoring position. It's popped up by Rutenbar, right side, and fouling out of play. Well, I learned a couple of days ago in the booth that here at Jackie Robinson Field, of course, there was a lot of foul ground. And in order to make a catch in foul territory and it still be ruled an out, you have to have a part of your body in fair territory when you go after the ball. And if you make the catch, it's then ruled an out. But, for example, if it goes to the left of the 345 mark in right field, or excuse me, to the right, and well into foul ground, and someone makes the catch, it's just a foul ball, not an out.
Really?
Yeah. I did learn that. You got to have a part of your body in fair territory. That's what I was told, at least. So, take what I'm saying with a grain of salt. Or maybe it was a part of your body on the playing field.
I would imagine that's probably what it is.
All right. So I got it wrong. So maybe that fence over there.
I would imagine
where it is.
Yeah, I would imagine. Yeah, there's. I highly doubt that a part of your body has to be in fair territory to make a catch
now
in foul
that I
ground.
think about it, makes no sense.
Yeah.
What I just said.
Yeah, but
okay,
I would imagine
so
that
scratch the last 30 seconds.
You
and
can't
go with the last 10. Can't scratch it?
No.
We can scratch
yes.
it. I just can't. We can't do what I said.
I would imagine that you can't go down the line, hurdle over the fence into the out of play area, and then make a grab.
2-2 to Rutenbar. Squibs it foul, and we'll do it again. Sandusky is at second base after the pinch hit 2-run double. And for the sixth time this year in 11 games, the Forresters have scored double digits in their run total. Salazar comes home with a 2-2, and this one's cracked into right field, a base hit. It will 1-hop, 2-hop off the wall into second base with an RBI double. Is Carter Rutenbar. Back-to-back doubles here in the 7th for the Forresters, and they lead it 11-4.
Next batter up, number 14, Caleb Hoover.
The 6th extra base hit of the day for Santa Barbara. And in 3 separate innings, they have scored multiple runs. They've scored in 5 of the 7 innings that they've played today. So here's Caleb Hoover, who has the loudest of those extra base hits, a 3-run homer back in the 4th inning to put Santa Barbara in front. They have scored 8 straight runs here, from down 4-3 to ahead 11-4. As Hoover fouls it away.
And the other interesting thing to note about this offense is that normally really successful offenses have 1 through 9 having equal amounts of success. And while that seems to be the case in terms of hit numbers, in terms of run numbers, 7 of the 11 have come from the first 3 guys in Grease,
Grounded up the middle. Robinette towards. He's got it. Throw on the run. And he retires Caleb Hoover for the second out of the inning. Rutenbar will go to third, but now 2 outs in the 7th.
But just to finish that thought, 7 of the 11 runs coming from the first 3 guys, Grease, Farr/Sandusky, as well as Rutenbar. And now over at third base is Rutenbar with an opportunity to up that number once again.
Outside ball 1 on Kurt Ippolito, who is 1 for 4, but he struck out twice in his last 2 at-bats in the 4th and the 6th. And just checking on a point you made earlier, indeed you are right, as this one has popped up into center field. Robinette going back. Coming in is Blake Mitchell to make the catch. I'll get to the point you're right in the bottom of the 7th inning. Top of the 7th is over, but the Forresters get 3 more. 4 straight batters reach as Santa Barbara tacks on. It's 11-4. Nine, 1, and 2 to lead off the Saints in the bottom of the 7th inning. Against a new pitcher for the Forresters, Henry Prindle into the game, making his 4th appearance. He's thrown 4 innings so far on the year. The Las Vegas, Nevada guy has given up 3 hits so far, only a run allowed on the season, and he comes in here in a semi-high leverage spot. Actually, no, scratch that. It's not high leverage at all. It's a 7-run game. So just getting his work in here as Mitchell swings and misses at the first pitch. Saints with 9 outs left to try to make a miraculous comeback. They've made a number of them already this year, but this one would be by far their most impressive. Nothing in 2 on Blake Mitchell, who struck out in the 2nd and then flew to center in the 4th. Prinzel comes home, and Mitchell flips it towards the left side of the diamond. Coming in to make the catch is the new 3rd baseman, Joshua Woodworth. And Mitchell is the first out of the bottom of the 7th. So that'll turn the lineup over. Flores and Panarisi will get their 4th at-bats in this inning. And after it looked so promising for the Saints, with the 4-run second, they have not been able to scratch across a run in each of their last 4 innings. 1 out, nobody on, and strike 1 from Henry Prindle. Prindle, a 4-pitch guy, but 89% of the time he'll throw the 4-seam or the slider. There's the 4-seam, and it's low and 1-1. Also a change and a cutter in his arsenal. One is skied, right side of the diamond, over towards the dugout is Rutenbar, and he's out of room. If you're just joining us, 15 runs so far in this game. Forresters took a 3-0 lead to the bottom of the second, where the Saints got 4 runs back. They had 5 consecutive guys reach. The big blow coming on a Nick Salmon error off the bat of Carson Panarisi. 1-2 to Flores is cued foul. In the top of the fourth, the Forresters retook the lead. The big blow in that one coming off a home run off of the bat of who hit the home run? That was Caleb Hoover. And they scored 4 in that inning. Took an 8-4 lead to the top of the seventh, where they scored 3 more. Now lead it 11-4 as we are here in the bottom of the seventh. 11-4, the Forresters on top of the Saints. Line towards left center field. That is down, a base hit off the bat of Braden Flores. No reason to try to go to second, down 7 runs in the seventh. He'll stay at first. Second hit of the ball game for Flores. And the Saints have a base runner for Carson Panarisi.
Yeah, and something about this Saints offense that we've seen all season long in a guy, especially like Flores, is when they get 2 strikes behind them, the 2-strike approach and the 2-strike changes to their swings are incredibly impressive, simplifying as much as they can and just trying to go bat to ball, and that's exactly what Flores does.
1 on and 1 out for Panarisi, who I was talking to him after the game on Wednesday when we got back from Irvine about what it was like to throw that guy out at the plate. And he said that throughout much of his career, he has been throwing guys out at the plate. And when you have a moment like that, it is incredibly electric, and that he was really calm and composed in the moment. Again, it was a 13-11 ball game, the base hit to left field, and Panarisi threw out the would-be tying runner. Flores leaned the wrong way, and he's picked off. Prindle to Rutenbar, and they've got Flores. And I'm wondering why he was even off the base at all, down 7 runs in the seventh.
In that situation, it was just perfect timing on the mound from Prindle. Flores taking his extension step to his right, wasn't trying to get a huge lead whatsoever, was just trying to get a couple steps off the bag, and perfect timing from Prindle.
Swing and a miss, and it's 1-1. So Flores singles with 1 out, but then is picked off a pitch later, and the bases are wiped clean. On a 1-1, Panarisi checked his swing. Did he go? Checked down to first. Yes, he did, and it's 1-2.
Might I just say, being on the call for that Panarisi play, as a baseball fan, forget about the strikeouts, forget about the home runs. Like, give me an outfield assist, and I'm fired up. And to save the game that way was so sweet.
Back up the middle. It has eyes, and it's a base hit. Diving attempt at second base, and unable to make the play is Joseph Sandusky, and it's a 2-out knock for Panarisi. Yeah, I would agree with that sentiment. The outfield assist is one of the most fun plays to call in baseball just because there's so much going on. The play at the plate, you know where the action is. Those are fun. The most fun I've had calling one this year was, despite the Saints losing, the 10-5 inning, because you could kind of see the events unfolding in slow motion. That's a fun one as a broadcaster. Runner on first base with 2 outs for Jacob Freer, who was 0 for 3. He flew to left twice and flew to center his last time up in the 5th. Ahead 1-0 here. So the Saints with 2 hits and their first 3 hitters of the 7th inning, but Flores picked off, thwarting what could have potentially been a larger rally than it is right now. Swing and a miss, and it's 1-1. We're at the time of night where it is just so beautiful here in Pasadena. The weather is perfect. The San Gabriel Mountains in the background illuminated to the fullest extent. And the fans have spread out all across the bleachers here. Panarisi goes. Throw down to second base is in time again. Grease coming over from the shortstop position to make the tag, and the Saints make 2 outs in the 7th on the bases. Flores gets picked off, and Panarisi thrown out trying to steal second. Through 7 here at Jackie Robinson Field. Forresters lead the Saints 11-4. Top 8, 11-4. Forresters lead the Saints. 6, 7, 8 coming up for Santa Barbara in the 8th. It's Makani Navarro, the only man in the Santa Barbara starting lineup that does not have a hit. Joseph Sandusky took over and doubled as a pinch hitter. And again, Navarro, the only one in the starting lineup who does not have a hit. 0 for 4. He's flown out twice and grounded out twice. And ball 2 from Oscar Salazar, who, despite allowing the 3 in the 7th, has certainly given the Saints the length they were looking for. Again, these two teams will be back at it tomorrow. This one coming from Santa Barbara, though. Ground ball right side. Robinette to his left, throws and gets him for the first out of the 8th.
Yeah, now for Salazar, it's all about stopping bleeding, limiting damage. You know, you already have a big enough deficit behind you. You'd rather not make it anymore, and that's, you know, the obvious part of being in this situation. But you just have to go out there and mentally know that, you know, you have to have your best stuff from here on out. You have to be more dialed in now than you were at the start of the outing.
Here's Joshua Woodworth, who took over for Nick Salmon after he exited the game on a scary collision in the 5th inning. Woodworth grounds it out when he pinch hit. And now down, no balls and a strike to Salazar. Woodworth bounces one foul along the third baseline, and it's 0-2.
And a great job up on the mound, falling behind 2-0 to Navarro, but then getting the ground out and now going ahead 0-2. He's been consistently finding the zone so far this inning.
Well, the interesting thing about Santa Barbara is while they are in the California Collegiate League, when the playoffs start, they actually go to a different league to play. So the Saints will not see, should they make the playoffs, the Forresters, and vice versa. And that's a benefit to the Saints, who right now are 6th in the CCL standings, or excuse me, 5th. And the top 3 teams will make the playoffs. So Orange County, very likely on their way there with how they've played. Ground ball left side. Freer to his left, throws and gets him on the run. Nice play by Jacob Freer to throw out Joshua Woodworth. It was a play deep in the hole at third base. And Freer the long throw across to get his counterpart in Joshua Woodworth for out number 2. Again, the Riptide most likely headed for the playoffs. Conejo is well positioned as well. And then the next 2 teams there are the Saints and the Barons. And that makes that loss that they blew a week ago hurt even that much more because you're giving a team in direct competition with you a win. But still plenty of season left. The Saints and the Barons will see each other 4 more times. And, of course, the Saints got their first win of the season against the Barons on the road, 6-5. They won that one. Strike in there, and it's 1-1. Becker is 1 for 3. He singled back in the 7th, part of a 3-run inning for the Forresters. One and 2, popped into right field. King coming on, he will not get there. Sliding attempt, can't get it. It's a fair ball, and it kicks into foul ground. And into second base with a 2-out double is Zane Becker.
And it's perfectly placed down that right field line. Obviously not his intention. Couldn't quite catch up in time, did Becker, but just got a swing on with 2 strikes. We talked about this earlier, just putting a ball in play because you never know what could happen. That one not hit well, but just find some open grass and puts him into scoring position.
Light, Robinette, King all converging over there towards the right field line, but none of them unable to make the catch. And a runner at second base with 2 outs here. 11-4 ball game in the 8th at Jackie Robinson Field. Ball 1 on Christian Turner. Again, the Saints are in Santa Barbara against these Forresters tomorrow, then back home against Conejo on Sunday. They've got the week ahead, and then what will almost assuredly be their toughest weekend of the year, a weekend trip up to SLO to face the Blues, who are doing what the Forresters are doing offensively, but also have an ace-level pitching staff. Two 2-0 to Turner. Now 3-0. Green light, swing and a miss at the fastball. It's 3-1. There's a big hole on the left side of the infield as Flores is shifted over to second base. Navarro sends it that way. It's on the fly, and it's coming in to make the play is Panarisi. Scoreless 8th inning for Oscar Salazar through 7.5 here in Pasadena. Still a 7-run Forrester lead.
Bullets may fly round, but I lay down. I feel safe and sound on solid ground.
Okay, yeah. They can't, they can't hold me. All that pressure weighing on my brain. I confess I front like I don't feel a thing. Still ain't maintained, running from the old me. Every time I drop a tune, they try to tell me. 4 stars, they don't wanna see none. Tryna beat one, that might get you beast on. Like without, that's when the fleas come.
3, 4, 5 coming up for the Saints in the bottom of the 8th as they look to try and put any pressure here on the Forresters, who, after scoring 4 in the top of the 5th, have added on and now lead it 11-4. Jacob Freer 0 for 3. Love to get him a hit here against Henry Prindle, who fires ball 1.
And Freer getting a redo at his previous plate appearance that was cut short after out number 3 was recorded on the bases when Carson Panarisi was caught stealing. So getting another opportunity here to lead off the inning.
Breaking ball swung on and missed, and it's 2-1.
A good breaking ball as well. 2-0 count. Green light was on. Freer obviously not expecting that breaking ball there, but going to it was Prindle and definitely fooled him.
Ground ball right side and through, a base hit. So a good moment for Jacob Freer here in the bottom of the 8th. A leadoff single, his first hit of the day. And it's going to be a runner on first base for Zach Light.
All right. I'm going to address the elephant in the room because you said it and then I noticed it and it really made me upset. I was breathing heavy into the mic, and I just want to let everybody know that I was severely out of breath from running out to center field and back. I had to fix the camera again, but I finally caught my breath. I think I'm good now, but yeah, I wouldn't want the audio being just my breath either, so I hope it wasn't too bad.
Yeah, well, we thank you for your duties, certainly, of installing the camera. Riley, of course, is an expert here at the Arroyo Seco Saints complex, back for his second summer of broadcasting with the team. He knows all the tricks of the trade. Popped up, left field, Navarro coming in to make the play. Back to first goes Freer, and Light is the first out of the 8th.
Yeah, bouncing back on the mound is Prindle. He's got a huge cushion, so at this stage in the game, there's only 2 sets of at-bats, including this one and the bottom of the 9th for the Saints, assuming the score remains the same. So with a 7-run cushion, it takes obviously 7 base runners to get on and come around and score. So you have a huge cushion. You have so much room and so many bases and so much time to play with that you don't have to really be too careful with your pitches. You can just throw it, try and get the hitters to get themselves out, and that's exactly what Prindle does.
Well, that's not what he did right there. Just hit Owen Mangini on the first pitch, and the Saints will certainly take it. It's going to spark a rally, hopefully. 2 on and 1 out. Freer at second, Mangini at first, and now Cannon King, who has displayed the extra base and home run pop so far this season, coming up.
I will say I'm not traditionally like a EDM, house music, dance music type of guy, but I really like Cannon King's walk-up song. Got a lot of good walk-up songs this summer.
Well, I was doing a game a week ago, and the producer who's not producing today, our other producer, Jack, handed me a note that said, Cannon King's walk-up song is the best song on the team. And, whatever Jack hands me, I just usually read out on the air because he's a very smart guy. He knows his stuff. And then we tried to figure out what the name of the song was, and we had no idea.
All right, next time he comes up, I'm going to Shazam it, and I'm going to find that out. And we're going to find out what the, according to Jack Badsey, best walk-up song on the team is.
A ball and a strike on Cannon King would be a good thing for the Saints if Cannon King can come back up to the plate again in this game. Prindle comes home, and now 2-1. Cam Andrews is on deck. King had an RBI single in the first, but struck out in the third and bounced to first in the 6th. Takes outside, and now 3-1. And you got to imagine that the red light will be on here for Cannon King as the Saints look to get any and all base runners in any possible way. Saints got the 4th spot in the second, but the 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th unable to do anything. That's ball 4 and a walk. So the bases are now loaded. And although it's the bottom of the lineup, Cam Andrews and Bryce Robinette due up. Those two have combined to get on base 3 times today. And the Saints are putting a little pressure on the Forresters here in the 8th.
And that'll call a mound meeting for the Forresters. Just a quick, brief talk to try and get through. There's still obviously a lot of cushion. Grand Slam here would only just about cut the lead in half, a little bit more so, but there's still plenty of time for these Forresters pitchers, and they have plenty of outs to go chase while they can still surrender a couple of tack-on runs.
7-run lead. Forresters going to leave the infield back. We'll trade a run for an out any day of the week and twice on Fridays. There I mentioned my earlier statement.
There you go. Love it.
Working on trying to get that one in and have done so. Now Camden Andrews trying to get one in as well. First pitch, strike 1.
While we're on the topic of walk-up songs, Cam Andrews, Roots Reggae Music by Revolution, another good one. Just found out, shout out to Derek, one of our data analysts. He gave us the walk-up song for Cannon King, I'm Not Alone by Calvin Harris. It's a good one.
Swing and a miss, 0-2. I'm Not Alone by Calvin Harris. Okay.
The legendary Calvin Harris.
Didn't he collab with Dua Lipa on Levitating?
Yes, he did. He's collabed with a lot of, he's with Rihanna on We Found Love.
In a Hopeless Place.
Yeah.
0-2, got him. 3-pitch strikeout for Henry Prinzel, who buckles down with the bases loaded and gets Cam Andrews for the second out of the 8th.
And you look at that Forresters pitching meeting, I don't know what they necessarily said, but clearly it worked as they get a 3-pitch strikeout of Andrews for out number 2 and are now potentially just a ground ball, fly ball out from getting out of this inning.
Prinzel not out of the woods yet. Bases are loaded as Robinette gets out of the way of ball 1. Blake Mitchell on deck for the Saints would be the top, and Braden Flores, who's driven in another today. Carved foul, and it's 1-1. Lucian Wexberg is warming in the Santa Barbara bullpen.
We've seen Wexberg before. He's normally the Forresters closer, so getting warm for potentially coming at the bottom of the 9th.
Pop foul, and it's 2-2. Robinette 1 for 3. As Deuce is wild here in the 8th. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Prinzel to Robinette with a 2-2. Fly to right. Ippolito on the run towards the corner. It is a fair ball. 2 runs are in. Here comes a third, heading for third base. And getting there with a 3-run triple is Bryce Robinette. And all of a sudden, it's 11-7, and the Saints are back in the game.
Yeah, there's still a lot to work to go for the Saints, but I mean, man, that's a great way to start a momentum swing, is a 2-out bases clearing triple by Robinette. Now you just got to pass the baton, keep the line moving, keep the momentum flowing.
3-run triple from Bryce Robinette. Scores Freer, Mangini, and King. And now Robinette himself 90 feet away from making it what would be a 3-run game. Swing and a miss from Blake Mitchell, and it's 0-1.
Now the Saints, we've talked about this all night, the offensive execution from the Forresters side. Saints cashing in on a leadoff single, a hit by pitch, and a walk.
Outside corner, strike 2. Mitchell doesn't like it. Mitchell stays alive. Braden Flores on deck. He would come up if Mitchell can reach or would lead off the bottom of the ninth. Saints all of a sudden are back within 4 runs. 0-2, bounced right side. And flipping to first base for the out is Sandusky. But the Saints get 3 in the bottom of the 8th. Not so fast, says Arroyo Seco. Only a 4-run game as we head to the 9th. Brendan Mullen into the game for the Saints for the top of the 9th. Submarine Guy 6-pitch mix. He'll face the top of the Forresters lineup in an 11-7 game. It's Grease, Sandusky, and Rutenbar due up for Santa Barbara. Mullen, who pitched on Wednesday against Orange County, second time today that Aaron Milam has used a guy that he used on the road in Irvine 48 hours ago. Outside ball 1 on Grease, who is getting his 6th at-bat of the game here in the 9th inning. He is 2 for 4 with a walk, has scored 2 runs, and has done everything he has needed to as the Forresters' leadoff hitter, 2-0. First pitch of this one came at about 5:40, now just past 8:40 local time. Grease takes inside and it's 3-0. Mullen, a junior at Murray State last year, comes out of Cincinnati, Ohio. And signed with Murray State as a transfer from Wabash Valley College. Again, a submarine guy, not fully the Tyler Rogers type submarine guy, but he throws the ball at an awkward angle and on a 3-1 hits Marcus Grease.
Marcus Grease already with 2 runs scored in this one. He's reached base 3 times as well, scoring in 2 of those. And the Forresters would love to tack on as many runs as they can after the Saints chipped back a little bit and got a couple last half inning.
Well, here's Sandusky, only 1 at-bat after he took over for Sawyer Farr, but a big one, a 2-run double. And that one took it from 8-4 to 10-4 back in the 7th inning. A runner on first base and Marcus Grease. And nobody out. Strike 1. Check over to first, and back standing is Grease. Last time I was on the air on Friday, I asked Nick because these lights and it's Friday night reminds me a lot of Friday Night Lights, and he told me he'd never seen the show or the movie or read the book. I'm hoping that you will have a different answer for me.
Guilty.
Guilty as in you have the same answer.
Yeah.
Ah, man, you got to see it. Great show.
I'll add it to the list again. Last time we were on, you were recommending, what was it, Princess and the Bride?
No, The Princess Bride.
Princess Bride,
The
something
Princess
like that.
Bride and Friday Night Lights
Haven't
are
gotten
two
around
of the
to 'em.
greatest pieces of media you will see.
I'll get around to it.
You'll get around.
They're both on the list. They're both on the list. Long list this summer.
Another check over to first. This one a little bit closer, but Greece still back there easily. Yeah, Friday Night Lights is a football TV show. It's about kids in high school in Dillon, Texas, which I'm sure a lot of the Forresters grew up near as they are from Texas. And Greece now stops and goes back to first base on strike 2. And in the show, it just chronicles all these players' lives on and off the field. Friday Night Lights, of course, Friday Night Football in high school. One of my biggest regrets in life is that I did not go to a high school where we had a football team and there was no social event where everybody went to the football games on Friday nights and then went out to like a diner or something afterward and talked about the game. Oh. 2-2 on Sandusky. Between him and Farr in the 2 spot again. 3 extra base hits, all of them being doubles, but all of them coming around to score or driving in runs. Low 3-2.
And we've seen the Forresters take off a handful of times tonight in a full count with nobody out. They might do something similar here, try and potentially break up a double play.
What do you got to lose? Greece with a decent-sized lead at first. Mullins' payoff is swung on and missed. Andrews can't get a grip on the ball, and Greece does indeed steal second base, but Mullins strikes out Sandusky for the first out of the 9th.
Yeah, so runner is in motion, so now with a runner on second base, that inning-ending double play is now out of order unless some crazy sort of line drive happens. But we've seen that maneuver so many times out of the Forresters offense tonight, and it's worked out in their favor. They still hold that lead here in the final frame.
Strike 1 on Carter Rutenbar, who is 1 for 2, but has been walked twice and hit by a pitch. He's been on base 4 times. And between him, Farr/Sandusky, and Caleb Hoover, the top and middle of the Forresters lineup has done the lion's share of the damage in this one. Again, 11-7, the Forresters lead. Scored 8 consecutive runs after the Saints took a 4-3 lead, but Arroyo Seco with 3 in the bottom half of the 8th have made it interesting. Now 1-2 as Mullen pours in a strike on the outside corner. Forresters looking for their 9th consecutive victory. Or 3 defensive outs away. Can they make it a little bit easier for them in the bottom of the 9th? 2-2 as Mullen misses away. Runner goes on a base hit into left center field. Rutenbar digs it out, scoring easily as Greece, into second base, and turning for third as Rutenbar throw is not in time. An RBI triple for Carter Rutenbar. And the Forresters do indeed tack on. Greece crosses home plate, and it's 12-7 Santa Barbara.
And runner going, trying to steal third was Grease, but wouldn't have mattered with the triple off the bat of Rutenbar. And I don't know about you, but so far this season, I don't think games that I've called, I've seen a single triple so far this season, and now we have two in the span of, like, what, an inning and a half?
A lot of them, and by a lot I mean two so far this game. Ball one on Caleb Hoover, who, as it stands right now, has the game-winning hit. A 3-run homer in the top of the 4th inning to give the Forresters a 3-run lead. They now lead it by 5 runs, a 12-7 advantage, and looking for more. Rutenbar at third, and now 2-0 on Hoover, the DH. 3 hits today for Hoover. Singled in the first, singled in the third. Of course, the homer in the 4th. Two one is down, ball 3. Hoover goes after the 3-run, grounds it to second. Robinette on the run, throws him out for the second out. Rutenbar comes through the back door, and it's 13-7.
Number 18, Kurt Ippolito.
Forresters with 2 in the top of the 9th, back out to a much more comfortable lead. And 13-7. I remember talking about it in my first game ever with Nick, as Mullen fires strike one, that he said 16-9 was a football score, and I said it wasn't. It was just a possible score you could have in a football game. Now, 13-7 is also a possible score you could have in a football game, but it's not really a football score. 14-7 is a football score. Do you have a take on that?
I would say 13-7 is a lot more of a football score than, what was it, 16-9? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree that this is a lot more of a football score. 1 touchdown, 2 field goals, and then a touchdown, as opposed to 16-9. I don't.
Right, it is closer. You're right about that.
Yeah, I think this is definitely more of a football score. But yeah, 14-7, that would definitely be a football score.
1-2. Ippolito pops it up, back of first base, and it will fall harmlessly in foul territory.
And we talked about it all night, but just to go back to how strong this Forresters offense is, they came into today scoring 101 runs in just 11 games played. So far today, they've, obviously put up 13 runs, but they've scored in almost every single inning, with the exception of the 6th the 3rd, the 6th, and the 8th. But they've had a runner on base in every inning except for now the 6th.
Swing and a foul tip. Andrews can't hang on to it, and it's still 1-2. They've also now scored 13 runs for the 5th time this season in 11 games. So in almost half of their games, quick math, something like 47% of them, the Forresters have scored 13 runs. And again, they've only lost 1. Ippolito bangs a base hit into left field to extend the inning. And we'll get another at-bat for Makani Navarro, who, again, the only starter for Santa Barbara that does not have a hit. He's 0 for 5. And this, one of the last boxes to tick offensively for Santa Barbara.
Yeah, 0 for 5, but balls in play still left and right. 2 pop-outs, 3 ground-outs. So it's not like he's struggling at the plate. He just hasn't found the right locations he needs.
Joshua Woodworth, who took over for Nick Salmon, is on deck. Mullins 1-0 is popped foul. Back over the screen, and it's 1-1. Saints will have the top of the lineup in the bottom of the 9th. Flores, Panarisi, and Freer. Mullen to Navarro with a 1-2. Ippolito takes off, throw down, and they got him. Camden Andrews throws out a runner from behind home plate to end the 9th inning. But at this point, too little, too late in terms of defensively for the Saints. 2 more in the top of the 9th for the Forresters. They lead the Saints 13-7. Bottom of the 9th coming up. Six-run lead for the Forresters. Bottom of the 9th inning, Flores, Panarisi, and Freer coming up for the Saints. They trail 13-7 and are going to face Lucian Wexberg on the mound for the Forresters.
Yeah, Wexberg, a 3-pitch guy, used basically strictly as the closer for the Forresters. He's got fastball, curveball, slider, and he uses all 3 of them to try and get the final handful of outs in the Forresters ball games, and he's got a huge cushion here. So he's got plenty of time and plenty of pitches to work with if he so chooses.
Two 2-0 on Flores. I mentioned earlier that a good offensive game is considered getting your best hitters 5 at-bats. And in the bottom of the 9th, the Saints will have achieved that feat. Flores, Panarisi, and Freer all guaranteed their 5th at-bat of the game. Strike on the outside corner, 2-1. But the problem has been the pitching. Forresters in 9 innings have put up 13 runs on the Saints and lead at 13-7. 2-1, breaking ball right there, strike 2. Flores is 2 for 4. He drove in a run back in the 2nd. 2-2 pitch is inside, and the count runs full. Again, 2 teams again will play tomorrow. That one is about 2 hours up the road in Santa Barbara. Ground ball up the middle and into center field, a base hit for Flores. Over the top of the mound, and Wexberg unable to glove it. Leadoff single in the 9th for Flores.
Chasing a handful of runs with just 3 outs to work with. That's exactly what you need for the Saints offense. If you pull off that miracle of coming back in this one, is just get on base, get the next guy up no matter how it takes, and lead off single right back where it came from. Great way to start.
Well, you never know. Strike 1 on Panarisi.
And there's that curveball from Wexburg, and I mean, that thing is a nasty curveball going 12-6. Just plus pitch that he uses with that fastball. Incredible stuff.
0-1. Fastball for strike 2. Rocketed in there past Panarisi, who is behind in the count. Well, the Saints gave up 7 in the top of the 9th last Friday. How about they score 7 in the bottom of the 9th this Friday? Would be a miraculous win and offset the blown lead. Panarisi swings and misses at the fastball for out number 1. So 1 on and 1 out for Freer. Zach Light's going to get another at-bat, and that's a small victory in this game for the Saints, who would love to get Light as many at-bats as possible after he didn't play the first 2 weeks because he wasn't here. But getting his first start on the road Wednesday in Orange County, now his first start at Jackie Robinson Field tonight. Freer swings and misses, and it's 0-1. Flores staying extra close to the bag this time because he was picked off there in the 7th. Flores drives the ball to left field. Coming in and going out is the shortstop making the catch. No, ball drops in left field. It fell in between Navarro and Grease. And it's going to be a flare of a base hit for Jacob Freer. So 2 on and 1 out for Zach Light.
Yeah, just a ball that, again, found green grass. We've seen bloops all throughout the day today. Bloops that have scored runs, bloops that have got guys on base, and that's just another one to add to the tally. But, again, another successful at-bat for the Saints at this stage in the game. It's less about getting your A swing and more about just getting on base.
Well, it ain't over till she sings, and Light fouls the first pitch back over the bushes behind the bleachers here in the fan section of Jackie Robinson Field. (13-7), the Forresters lead. 0-1, breaking ball that never caught the plate, and it's 1-1. Forresters took a 3-0 lead in this one. Saints responded with a 4-run bottom of the 2nd inning, but the Forresters retook the lead in the 4th, got 4 of their own, and led the Saints 7-4. They would tack on to make it 11-4 before the Saints responded. This one's grounded off the glove of Wexburg. It's into right field and off the glove of Sandusky. Into score is Flores. Going to third is Freer. It's going to be a base hit for Light. That was a really weird play. It was deflected off of the glove of Wexburg. And then Sandusky kind of gave up on the ball in right field, even though it was only a few feet away from him. Saints get a gift. It's now 13-8. And they are only a couple of batters away from getting the tying run to the plate here in the 9th.
And that's going to be the key for the Saints, is no rally is complete without getting that tying run to the plate. And that's normally the tone setter in a game. That's when things get really interesting. That's when the defense gets a little nervous. That's when the pitcher, his heartbeat starts to race a little bit. His palms start to get a little sweaty. He gets a little bit nervous. So if the Saints can keep the line moving and keep the carousel turning, they might have a shot.
2-0 on Mangini, as that breaking ball looked like it caught a lot of the plate. Forrester's dugout doesn't like it. It was 11-4 before the Saints got a 3-run 8th inning. The Forresters tacked on 2 in the 9th to make it 13-7. But the Saints with a run in the bank here in the bottom of the 8th. Now 13-8. They've got runners on the corners and only 1 out for Owen Mangini, who's been on twice today. 2-1 the count to the Saints DH. Swing and a miss at the fastball, and it's 2-2. That has been Wexburg's best pitch.
Yeah, he goes to it about 60% of the time, and he's used it twice in a row, elevated up in the eyes of Mangini to induce those swings and misses. If I were to guess, he would go back to that breaker here on the 2-2.
Anything but a strikeout for Mangini, who flies one to right field. Ippolito towards the corner on the run. He is going to get there to make the play. Back to first goes Light. Coming in to score is Jacob Freer. It's 13-9. But Mangini flies to right for the second out, and the Saints are down to their final one. So Cannon King, the last hope for the Saints, who are 2 base runners away from getting the tying run to the plate. It would be Bryce Robinette, who tripled in his last at-bat, but the Saints got to get it there first. Light on first base as ball 1 delivered from Wexburg. King is 1 for 3 with a walk. Back in the lineup is King after getting the day off on Wednesday. Typically, you'll play each guy 1 out of every 2 days here in summer ball, but the one guy for the Saints that has transcended that is Braden Flores, who has played almost every single one of the team's games. Outside corner 1 and 2, and the Saints are down to their final strike. King, the last hope for the Saints. Wexburg comes home and misses away. It's 2 and 2. .9:05 local time here in Pasadena. 13-9, the Forresters lead the Saints. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. King slashes it foul.
That was dangerously close to our third base camera over there. That one made my heart skip a beat.
Well, you never want the camera to get hit, but the worst time is, actually the best time is right at the end of the game because you didn't miss a lot of the action. But it makes it feel worse because we almost got through it. 2-2, outside ball 3, and the count is full. Light will get a head start from first base. Cam Andrews is on deck. And if both King and Andrews could reach, Robinette would come up representing the tying run in a game the Saints were down by 7. Here's the payoff. King slaps it up the middle. Not going to be an easy play. Gloved by Grease. Throw to first is in time to end the ball game. Close play at first, but Grease throws out King to end the game. And the Forresters come into Pasadena, and for the second time in 9 days, they beat the Saints. The final, 13-9, Santa Barbara.
Yeah, and I mean, going into this game today, we knew that both of these offenses are extremely capable of putting up large numbers. I mean, we've talked about it all day, the offensive execution on both sides. And the Forresters today had great offensive execution, and their offense just looked on fire, even if they did leave a little bit of meat on the bone, leaving a runner on base stranded in 8 of the 9 innings that they had their at-bats and that they were going to battle against these Saints pitchers. And for the Saints offensively, they put together a pretty strong day as well, putting up 9 on the board. But when you're facing a team like the Forresters with an incredibly strong offense, it's going to have to be on both sides of the ball, just pure execution to get a win.
Well, this one would be what we thought it was going to be, a shootout. 22 runs between 2 of the highest scoring offenses in the CCL. Zach Bender and Calvin Prosky got the start. But it is the Forresters who emerge on top. They score 13 runs. Their 5th game this season, reaching that total or higher. They beat the Saints 13-9. And for the second time in 9 days, they've beaten the Saints. These two teams will see each other tomorrow. That game from Santa Barbara. Nick Jepson and Dylan DeCesare will have the call for you. But for Riley Horn, my name is Max Slanger saying so long from Pasadena. Once again, your final score, Forresters 13, Saints 9. Thanks so much for listening, and stay tuned next time for more Arroyo Seco Saints baseball.